Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the stream. The Gems of War stream. Anyways, we'll be kind of just chilling today. No new content came in yesterday, so nothing really new to go over. So the schedule for today is basically we'll be doing Gems of War for the next few hours. We'll then be taking a short break just to eat up, and then we'll be back with puzzle quests for a few hours. Then it'll be basically our nightly stream, and then we'll be doing that. So that is essentially the game plan for today. So let's get into that PvP. If any of you have any questions, anything you want to ask, ouch, 2-9. What happened to our win streak yesterday when we were going crazy on defense? We somehow have over 50% this week. Not quite sure how that came about, but yeah, some people actually have that too. Interesting. Yeah, we were getting a lot of really random wins earlier yesterday. I have no clue why. Anyways, hello everyone. Hello JZG. Hello Bridget. Hello Henny. Hello Humberto. Hello Dark Medics. Hello Aaron. Welcome. You were wondering if he was streaming today? Oh yeah, I mentioned at the beginning. I don't know if it actually showed up, but I said it was moving it to 10:30 today to start. I woke up a little bit later, so I was like, move it. Happens sometimes. Let's see. Where do we move? Where do we move? We'll get a mercy down. Yeah, we almost have never canceled a stream. Generally, if I ever have, it was because of a holiday, for the most part. Let's see. We'll move that over. We don't get to mercy it, but at least we still get the manas that we need. Really bad start here, but looks like we finally got it going. So we just throw this into a mercy, and we'll be good to go with the loops. Skull poke just to kill it out. One less thing to have to deal with. Get him out. Let's see if we can get ourselves a mercy. Ooh, he's gonna get famine here. I do not have an extra turn, and whatever he touches will die. Pretty much guarantee. I'm gonna move that over. Maybe he'll get skull distracted. Nope. But at least we get a skull of our own, so we'll do that. He's getting a lot of mana. Wow, he even got a full rag backup. We need purple and we need yellow very badly here. So we'll take the purple. It did not surge though. It made a surge sound, but it didn't actually surge on the correct color there. But we'll just go move that up. Go take this out for, I guess we just cast, and then we'll get the Hellcat down. He'll just try poking us, which has no success. And then we'll just get the last little bit of our manas. Get that. And that will allow us to hit him again. The bad part, though, is that's not enough damage. The good part is that that is sitting right there. And we can just throw that into a Dawn again. And that is pretty much matched. Now we just have to tap it with a very, very small poke before it kills us, which shouldn't happen. Especially with that extra turn and that skull right there. Quick question, what's the number at the bottom of the board that appears time to time during the battle? That is a storm. These were added, I believe, 2 or 3 patches ago. I forget exactly. But essentially what they are is a storm that triggers due to certain abilities. Each one of these storms is, there's a storm for every single color plus for skulls. So for basically every gem on the board, there is a storm. Any troop that creates a storm will create the board, whatever color is down there that's showing, like let's say it's red, more reds will fall from the top of the board when they come into the board. That's basically what that means. So let's see, where's my Infernus team? I'll just go run an Infernus real quick just so I can show it. Yeah, here we go, like a pure red Infernus team. So Infernus has that's not the right team. Infernus has a ability where he ends up creating a red storm, the firestorm, whenever we end up getting a kill. So, actually, I probably should have showed the Phoenix. We would be able to get the storm up a lot quicker. But yeah, just whenever that's active, we just get more of the drops. It's a little bit more easier to see with a team like this or with an Exploder because you clear out a lot of the board, so you get to see a larger drastic change done to the board compared to if you're just doing like single cast or something. Right here, double brown seems horrifically bad. If we had an Elma Grim right now, that would be ideal. Fortunately, we do not have an Elma Grim right now. Wow. Okay. This board I do not like. So we'll go, I guess, into a purple-yellow, into the skull. He misses for the most part. I'm gonna get the last little bit of our mana. I guess we just take Red Surge. There we go. And now we double purple. He got some right at the end there, but we still got it. Come on, get a kill. So we can show the storm. Move that over. Move that down. Kill it with that. Okay, not dead yet. Not dead yet. This battle's almost going to be won by the time we even get the storm. But yeah, that thing. That's what you're referring to, right? So now, this lasts for 6 turns, and it counts both of our turns. So technically it only lasts for 3 more turns, as far as how many turns we get to use it for. But essentially now is more reds will drop from the top of the board whenever they come in. Yeah, I should probably go get something with a bigger exploder. Let me go do the Sunbird with the Rag. I think that might actually show it quite a bit better. It's also still a red storm. The color of the storm doesn't matter, or it does. It just represents the color that gets created, is whatever the storm thingy is. So here, we'll doing the same thing with the red storm. So more reds are going to come onto the board when we do this. All we have to do to get this going is get the Phoenix cast. And then when we cast Ragnargord, it's going to be quite noticeable what the storm actually does. We'll go move that up. Need to make sure that gets to full mana as well. Wow, you can actually win this already. How is he so far ahead? He got a lot of mana initially. But he's using almost what we were just using. That's funny. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to let him skull poke us here. I was hoping for a red drop. We didn't actually get any though. We get another poke. We'll throw this on reds. And as you can see, we're getting a lot more reds than what we normally would be getting onto the board. Let's see, we'll get that down. Our pokes. No. And one of the main things that this is used for is to try to increase your chance of gaining an extra turn. And rip. Unfortunately, his team was also based on having that same red storm, so we were kind of helping him there. But yes, that's basically the general premise. You use it with exploders, converters, stuff like that, to try to keep the board in the color theme that you need. So if you're up against a really heavy blue team, you'd want to have a not blue storm to kind of counter them out to make sure that less blue would fall into the board. Then you just keep denying out those blues and you'll pretty much be good to go. That's the general premise of how the storms work for the most part. It also helps quite a bit with pure color teams, of course, because if you're running a pure color team of any kind, it will keep it themed towards that color that you're trying to use. Like you can see right now, we have red, but he has basically nothing that uses red. The only red user he even has is pretty irrelevant. And we get more reds onto the board. It slightly increases the chance of extra turning as well with exploders. The exact chance, it's really hard to exactly break it down. I would say, I don't know, maybe 20% higher chance that you would actually land an extra turn based on if you have a storm. It doesn't even matter what storm, but it just because more of the same color will be near each other. So it's a higher chance that you would end up getting the turn. Okay, let's just throw this down again. Oh, I should have threw the green down first. Never mind. Oh well. It just gets killed off a skull poke. Let's see. And this can only happen with teams that create the storms, or it can be triggered by the board itself. Oh no, it's only triggered by troops that have the storm. If no troop in the entire battle, like none of these 4 and none of those 4, have a storm, it is impossible to have a storm in the battle. It's not a random event that randomly occurs, though that would be cool if there were random events that occurred based on what kingdom you were in. That was something that was suggested a while back, though they never actually implemented it, was basically every single battle would have like some kind of condition based on what kingdom you're fighting in. So like for White Helm, maybe everything has 10 higher armor or something, or starts with barrier, for example. Every single troop starts with barrier. In Glacial Peak, everything starts frozen. In Sword's Edge, everything starts with more armor, stuff like that. It'd be a really, really interesting concept, but no, they've never really added any kind of like set effect to certain kingdoms. Though it's not to say they wouldn't eventually do it. Would be a nice thing to ask after your next Q&A, because they haven't really addressed it recently. It was something that came up a lot like a year ago, but hasn't really been talked about much since. It'd be a really cool concept. And currently, Kingdom Choice has almost no effect on the game, and they did mention that they eventually want to add, make it so kingdoms have more of a consequence within the game, and that'd be a pretty easy way for them to do it. Or I shouldn't say easy, but it'd be a really interesting way to add more flavor to actually fighting in a specific kingdom. Because I barely even notice what kingdom I'm even fighting in most of the time, because there's no difference other than the background that you see. What do we do? We'll go move the purple over. There we go, nice. Get yourself Dragon Soul. Hello, Vangor! Vangor's in the house. Welcome. Let's see. And some troops have ability that triggers Storm if the enemy dies. Yeah, there's some troops that trigger it when an enemy dies. There's some that trigger it when it dies, like Phoenix. And there's also some that trigger it off their ability. And I believe that's all the storms that currently exist. Hello, Simple! Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Also, hello, Iron Malt and Dark and Eric. Wow, how did I miss so many? And Humberto. Welcome all. You're wondering if you... Oh, never mind. I already answered that. Stuck at work right now and you have you streaming in the background? Nice, Eric. Very nice. Well, go throw this down. Get yourself a Dragon Soul. And that is a match right there. Then it goes. Yeah, no problem, Marcelo. And if anyone else has any other questions, team builds you want me to mess around with, anything of the such, feel free to leave them in chat. We'll have 2 redeem codes today. And we're just going to mainly be messing around with basically whatever we feel like for today. Nothing really new to go over for the most part, just kind of chilling for today. Let's see. I would be using the new event troop. I'll probably farm it up. That could be one thing that we could go do. I still need to go farm up the last of the Daemon summons that we need to do. Because she has, like, what, 200 summons you need to do this week? I think we only have 80 at the moment. It doesn't take that long. I think it would take us like an hour if we were just to specifically grind it out. It's like an average of 8 per battle, so it's definitely pretty quick. Rewards for it are okay this week. It's nothing too spectacular that I would say go out of your way for, but I don't know. It's quick enough that I don't really mind going for it. For how many resources we'll actually get. I think we're getting like 80 gems and a few other scraps of resources here and there. What do we do here? I don't want to cast Dawnbringer yet. I might regret that though if he goes crazy right about now. So let's go shield up. Oh, never mind. He died anyways. I didn't even need a shield there. So we'll just throw this down into a into an Element Grim there. And that is match. Down it goes. We even get an extra turn from a random cascade right at the end there. Very nice. Hey, Arcane. One of the more useless ones, pure blue, but Arcane nonetheless. That reminds me, what Arcane are we the lowest on? I should probably be doing all my kingdom stuff in whatever place that is. Let me see. If I go under Hero, which Arcanes currently are lowest? So I know which one to farm. I believe it's brown-blue last time I checked. Let's see, 126, 119, 116. Yeah, it is brown-blue. So to brown-blue we go. Now, for a second, I thought that 779 was Arcane. I was gonna say, whoa. Gosh. Anyways, let me go do that real quick. How many more do we need? I might not do all of it, like, right now. Let me see, events. Yeah, we're at 82 right now. We'll go to the next objective, which is 120. There's like 38 of them. Take just a few battles, pretty much. Just go to Broken Spire. Get herself out the summoning team real quick. And summon Daemons, back to normal difficulty, and there we go. Get into that. Okay, so let's see what we need to do here. Probably just double firebomb it and get it rolling. And then we'll get our convert. Probably do that onto the blue or green. Oh, let's do it on blue. So get a little bit of extra turn there. Do that on the brown then. Get it going. Oh, we missed. We must. Don't be missing. Take that down. Get herself the brown again. Oh, okay. For a second I thought I almost casted when we didn't have a summon back there. I have yet to actually do that, surprisingly. Though by the end of today, that probably will happen. Me accidentally clicking on to sacrifice when we are about to kill her. It actually isn't immune to sacrifice. Could you imagine just constantly looping this into her? Technically, we're already doing that, but I mean with like a real team. Like, have this, something something and then her in last slot, yet she somehow has immune to it. She doesn't, but that would be that would be really strong. The combos that you could do with that. That's the biggest issue that Sacrifice really has right now. You basically have to sacrifice an entire slot to be able to summon for it, which is definitely not optimal. And because of that, most summoners don't really gain any benefit from magic. Case in point, this troop right here. She doesn't really gain anything from having additional magic. So giving her a bunch of magic is just kind of redundant. All right, let's go move that. Throw this onto browns. Throw that onto brown again if we can here. Or maybe yellow, whichever one is going to be better. Oh, I forgot to see what numbers it said. What we're doing on yellow. Well, you got a lot of value there. We're just going to go for a poke. Oh, did I accidentally do explore instead of challenge? I meant to do a challenge. Fail. It's not that big a deal, though. We're still going to get the same amount of stuff in there. He ends up getting the purple there. Let's see. Can we not take mana? I don't think we can. I don't want to take purple. Actually, I kind of just want to leave the purple here. Oh, I guess I'll take it. It's because it sets up us with yellow, so I want to take that. We did not have a cast with her, though. Maybe I'll just go poke him. There we go. One more dead. We got another purple storm going, so that will help us to be able to get our alignments that we need. Right now, I'm just going to go for summon. Not really caring much about the extra turn here, just so we can get the actual summons in. He has not been able to kill this thing yet. It just does not want to die. It's like, nope. Not even close. Throw down browns there. Didn't get it. Had an okay setup. There was only one spot that it could actually do it off of, though. And yeah, I think we'll just start ending this battle then. Doesn't look like we'll easily be able to get another cast of hers off. We can kill another one. Maybe if we get lucky here. There we go. We got lucky there. Perfect. So now we go and summon a double. And now we can just poke it if we could find where we can poke it. And in the meantime, we'll just go for that. It looks like we'll get the loop going again. Nice. So we are going to be able to get a few more summons in. Yellow, I'd prefer not to take you out right now. We'll just go move that over. And, oh, I was going to take that for 5 times, though. Okay, we'll go and remove that. There we go. Take another one. Throw this one on brown. Nice, extra turn. Oh, I thought it was over. Apparently not. We are going to get quite a bit more, apparently. Oh, wait. Oops. No extra turn. No! The awkward moment when you cast to try to get an extra turn and it's not available anywhere. So we'll just do that there, I guess. Want to try to keep preserving the colors that we need on the board, like brown. Keep them there so we have the extra turn chance, or at least a higher extra turn chance. We'll take that over so we can get another sacrifice. Throw down brown again just to keep it going. Keep the board sustained on that color. And just get rid of something we don't need. Well, technically we do need yellow, but in this case, not as much. So we'll go scrap these again. Scrap it again. Oh, come on, brown. Oh, you missed. Wow, we have no mana right now. Should have a good cascade, though, somewhere in all this mess. Or not. Okay, well, we'll move that up. Got some brown, at least. He'll go take the skull. We'll take this brown. And we'll just get a convert into brown, is it? Ideally not. But I will if I must. So we'll do that. Now it looks like we're switching to yellow. And now that we got rid of all the browns, we probably won't extra turn. Luckily, we still got it off the purple, though. And now we'll just resummon this. And then we should probably kill him at this point. Let's see. What do we have for alignment? Blue, go. And throw down yellow. And wow. How does she have 404 magic? Has he been doing that much magic? Apparently. 404 magic. Too bad she doesn't use that in any way, shape, or form. Well, actually, she technically does. The level that the Quasit comes in at is based on her, oh, what's it called? The magic stat that she has. Of course, it caps out at 20 because that's the level cap of a mythic troop. Assuming your Quasit is a mythic. But, yeah. It's a lot of magic that she doesn't really use, yet she's basically themed around like the whole concept of magic, because I can almost guarantee she was meant to be used with sacrifice, given what her ability is. Because it kind of, it's the problem that Giant Spider has. It basically fixes with this troop. You don't have to deal with that really clunky, the way that it just is really clunky with its summon. Now you just get a nice consistent one where you can just keep sacrificing it constantly. because if you get like a double death or something like that, you'd still be able to sustain it very, very well. So right here, I think we're just going to finally take the skull. We've gotten enough summons here. Actually, I think that's the most we've gotten in a battle so far. I think that's like, what, 14? 20! Wow. Almost did the full amount I wanted to do in like one battle. Let's see, what does that bring us up to then? We still need, I think, 18 more. Let's see. Yeah, we need 18 more for the 20,000 gold. Wait, why are we even doing it then if we're only doing it for 20,000 gold? Well, I guess it's for the 80 gems that we get at the final one is the real reward. Because once we hit that, we end up... that's basically one gem per kill once we reach that far. So at that point, I guess that is pretty decent. So, yeah, I guess we'll still try for it. We'll do another battle later. We'll just throw it in randomly here and there. I don't want to do it all back to back to back. Yeah, it should only take us a cumulative hour, I believe, to really get that all done. Probably even less now that we got that last little bit in one single battle. That was actually pretty lucky, though, getting that much. I was not expecting 20. Actually, if we kept it going, we probably could have... If I wasn't trying to kill him at all, we probably could have went all the way to, like, 50 in that battle. If I was completely ignoring every skull. Yeah, we'll start that down. Yeah, I didn't realize that. There's actually 120 gems available this week via actually doing that. That comes out to like a little over half a gem per daemon that you summon this week. On top of all the other resources you got, like the little bit of gold and the what's his name, the Herald of Chaos. That's actually not too bad of an event. Let's see. I think I missed something. Hello, SBM. Hello, William. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Stroot Fry. Oh, last question before you have to leave. Oh, no. I didn't answer it. Hopefully you're still here. You got plenty of weapons, Hero, when you got 40 mastery points in all the elements. Yes, because most of the last weapons you get are at 40-40. So once you hit 40, it seems like a gold rush of weapons. Once you reach around like level 250 when you get everything at base 40. Now you're at about 50th-ish. There's more weapons to come as far, or when you keep leveling. Yes and no. The last weapon you get is at 50 all. So if you have Imperial Jewel, you have every single weapon you can ever have in this game. Well, every single mastery weapon you can have in this game. So yeah, once you finally get the Imperial Jewel, it just kind of stops. Once you reach that point, mastery almost loses all of its value because there is almost no point in having additional mastery, therefore. So it's a little bit annoying. They have mentioned in the past that they are looking into maybe some kind of rework in the future to kind of make it more desirable to keep leveling and stuff like that. But oh, come on, what are you doing, enemy? Yeah, as this current moment in time, you basically don't get any additional rewards post 50 all mastery. The only other thing you get is still a couple stats here and there onto your hero. It's a relatively trivial amount of stats. Why is someone still running MOAs? It's a relatively trivial amount of stats, but still helpful nonetheless, particularly in Arena at the moment. Some late game players can actually be quite a bit stronger than the battles that they face, simply because their stats are higher on their hero, and because of that they gain a slight advantage in every single one of the battles. Bombot team is rigged, very few arcanes. I don't think it's deliberately giving less arcanes. I haven't specifically been running the Bombot team as of recently. Mainly because I haven't been using Mechanist class. But no, it's still been the same. I've been running the Firebomb variants though, and they've been doing good. I think we've gotten like 2 or 3 arcanes just during the 23 minutes we've been going. And we haven't even been like trying to grind them. It's just been random drops. And that wasn't even an Explorer either. That has just been from PvP, which only has about a 3% chance per battle to drop it. Whereas in Explorer, it's around a 9% chance, approximately, to drop an Arcane. 8 or 9, somewhere around the general ballpark. We don't know the exact values. We just know the data that we had from a while back, which is probably old by now. No clue if they actually switched it or not. But, yeah. There's really no way of knowing because we haven't really taken data again. We used to take data a lot to try to test things to see if the values were actually right. At this point, we don't really do that as much anymore. You got Imperial Jewel already? Thanks for the response. Well, let's see you, Marcelo. Have a good day. I'm gonna move that over. Move that one. You can go, never mind, we'll take that as well. Do that one. And now we have everything. We don't have any drop over there, but we will just go for some AoE damage. If we can get a firebomb in here, he'll just skull poke us. We already used our ability, so he doesn't get to steal any mana. And that allows us to get a nice rag. Oh, come on. Well, there goes our mana. But that allows us to get our nice rag to get the mana back that we just lost from that. I think we go for Infernus here, because he at least has a chance for an extra turn. As slim as it may be, we didn't get it, but we did get the skull poke, which is just as equally important. And he'll take his own skull poke. We'll go and take some reds. Looks like he has a wide spread. That'll give us another Infernus, and now we just have one more poke pretty much to do. And there goes the one poke off the sky. And a runic. I wonder if they will ever allow us in the Soul Forge to convert trait stones into troops. Because you can convert trait stones into trait stones. You can convert jewels into troops, and you can convert jewels into trait stones, so into troops and trait stones. But you can't convert trait stones into troops, which would be really cool. End game problems. We have too many trait stones and nothing to do with them. Trait stones are starting to become what souls used to be, where souls in late game were essentially dead content because for the longest of time prior to the Soul Forge, because there was just nothing to use them on. But then they added Soul Forge and it's like, oh, okay, now there's something to use it on. Especially with the mythic weapons, it's a complete sink for resources, that is for sure. Is Ragnagord worth leveling up? Yes. He's definitely worth leveling up. He's not something you have to max level, though. As long as he has about a 12 magic, he's perfectly fine. I find this really odd that he has Fire Spirit, because he really only needs around 12 explosions, and he automatically has 2 by default, so you only need about 10 magic on him. If you have 10 magic on him, you're pretty much good to go. You need about 10 magic plus fast trait. It is pretty important that he has fast trait. Him without fast trait is kind of not worth using. Because there are exploders that are way cheaper than him if he doesn't have the fast trait, but with the fast trait, he is the quickest troop in the game to get an explosion with, and he is the second quickest in the entire game. First quickest as far as troops are concerned. The thing that's quicker than him is the Mountain Crusher weapon. This, I believe you get at 35 Brown Mastery. I know it's some kind of amount of Brown Mastery, I forget it specifically, but off the top of my head. But that weapon ends up exploding essentially all brown. I believe it's based on magic, but it does so many that it's essentially every single brown on the board. And that only costs 11 mana, and if you have a fast trait on it, it only costs 6 mana. It's basically the exact same amount of time that a Ragnagord will take, except the Mountain Crusher does not require a +1 to work, whereas Ragnagord, you basically, almost every Ragnagord team you ever runs with a brown-red banner on +1/+1, just to ensure that you do indeed get the mana that he needs as quickly as possible, because he's used to basically you hope that you get a surge, 1 turn into a Ragnagord, then just throw down the Ragnagord to get a bunch of explosions that then get your mana flowing so that you can destroy the enemy team. That's like the whole premise of really using him, to get a really nice quick start with a lot of mana generation. How is he still alive? I'll throw that down. How is he still alive? There we go. He kept triggering his trait that triggers whenever he takes HP damage, and kept keeping him alive with like 1 HP because we kept hitting the armor. Good morning, Zidicus. Welcome. Never mind, I already answered that. Let's see. You got all this week's event gems just from farming with your Bombot team. Elspeth summons Stamens. Wait, she does? Wait. Oh yeah, she does, because yeah. Let me see. I know that there is War. What other ones does she do, though? How many Daemon Knights? Let's see. That's Undead. I think there's only 1. Did you really? Oh, no, there's 2. Maybe 3. Not that many. But I guess you could if you played enough Explore battles. Yeah, that's like like what? A 5% chance? Maybe a little bit higher than that. That you would end up getting a undead summon, a Daemon summon off of your Elspeth. I guess that would work. You would have to play a lot of Explore to do it that way, though. Wow. That would be upwards of like 2,000 Explore battles this week if you were to do it specifically off of summoning with an Elspeth undeads. Because she normally only gets about 1 cast per battle, for the most part. There are some battles she might get 2. Or at least within the Explorer anyways. In a normal battle she would get a lot more. But in the Explorer you generally just one cycle it until you win with that really quick kill in like under a minute. Actually normally under 30 seconds. Alright, just let him do all of his things. Get some splits. He'll do Mercy or whatever he wants to do. Go get rid of the yellows. And let's match if he lets us cast. There we go. Today. There we go. He could actually have won if he got that queen map. I think that would have been enough damage. Good morning, Sadi. Welcome. The Popo. We're up against the Popo. Okay, what do we have for starting board? Firebomb, go. Oh, there's only 4 reds and they're like all clumped right on top of each other. That's not good. I'll move that over. Ideally, a Firebomb would give us full Ragnagord right off the bat. You got a lot of mana there. I guess we try for the Skull extra turn. Oh, never mind. Let me just take that. I try for that one. We can get that one for sure. The Skull didn't even fall, so good thing I didn't go for that earlier. Throw that down. He'll do his little Rag. That's the only problem with this team. It gets decimated by a Ragnagord because there's only 3 troops. So he essentially hits every single thing for double damage, which is a lot of damage. That would be 68 damage essentially to every single one of these. And depending on specifically where they target, they could be hit with slightly more than that. Oh wait, never mind. No, they couldn't be hit with slightly more than that. It would basically be, depending on where he hits, it'll either be 1.5 times this value, which would end up being what? That would be 17. That would either be 51 damage or 34 damage. Well, I guess I could hit that and that. Yeah, which would be 51, 51, and 17 would be the damage. But regardless, bottom line is, since we only have 3 troops instead of 4, they just all get hit harder than what they normally would because of that. It's why you keep seeing that we generally lose with this team against another Infernus. Because they have the upper hand because they have more troops to absorb the split damage that we have for everything. Whereas since we kill the Firebomb immediately, we don't have as much protection against a Infernus and other similar troops that do like a double cast. Catchers would also be really good against the team that we're currently using because if it was smart enough to hit the middle one, it would hit us for insanely good value. We'll go move that one. So for Firebomb. And move that one over. Get some purples. What else? What else? We'll take a poke. Poke all the pokes. See if we can go get some splits going. Get a nice explosion onto the board if we can somewheres. Move that, move that. Get ourselves just a skull poke. Don't need to take those reds yet. We'll take it off of explosion. And throw that down. And since he has 3, we hit them harder, and then boom. Because they're more condensed. Where is the best place to use Tyree to farm for maps? Tyree map farming. Oh, the fun. We've had a couple videos on it. Whatever one I did most recently. Well, actually, all of them are fully up to date because the way that you actually farm maps with Tyree has never changed. It has never really been updated as far as like the team that you would use. Because the teams that are initially used were already so decent that you don't really need to do anything else. If I'm not mistaken, Tyree can do like 120 maps per hour or something. Or I think it was 100 plus at the moment. But yeah, you just go to Broken Spire. Basically, everyone has this point unlocked. You just go to the not Kingdom. You go to Broken Spire. You go to Explore. You go to Broken Spire. You go to Challenges. I'll get it right eventually. And we go to Stonewall. I believe Siege also works somewhat decently. Whatever one has the Fortress Gate up front. There's 2 of them. I think for this purpose, I'm going to go do the where to go? This one. So we're going to go to Stonewall right here. And the team that we're going to set up, there's 2 of them that we can use. There's the super early game version, and then there's the loop version. Here's the... actually, let me show the super early first. because this one is a lot cheaper than the other one I'm about to show. It is, that's right, right? Yeah, I think that's right, because we get the extra thing. Goblin, Shaman, and a Tyree. So here's the budget one. You throw this in with a Frozen Banner, and you basically just farm up like crazy. The reason you use this one specifically is it has Barrier. So if you are a newer player and you're playing this battle, basically everything in this battle except for the Stone Giant has a, is basically just going to be killing you with skulls. Well, I guess the Archon statue too, but he's blocked by everything. So the only thing that's really going to be happening here is Fortress 8's Gate's going to be gaining armor, the Luther's going to be throwing attack buffs, and you're occasionally going to be poked with a Stone Giant, and that's about it. So as far as that is concerned, you would be able to Dryad, and your Dryad gives you a little bit of life gain. It gives you a life heal, gives you barrier, and then it creates a bunch of greens. The Goblin Shaman also does a little bit of a heal, creates greens, and, or I should say a life gain. There's a difference between life gain and heal, but that's another life gain, and it gains an extra turn automatically, so you can do that into all of your greens. Even if you miss, you still get a lot of green mana for the board, and then you just throw a Tyree. Tyree, of course, farm the map, 20% chance to gain a map every single time, use it for board control, and you can also occasionally use it on green to get all of your stuff up, though you'd normally be using it on purple, or just some other color to control the board. The other team, which does work better than this one, if you happen to have all the components, that's only 3 rares and a free Tyree that you end up getting from the kingdom. But if you happen to have yourself a second Tyree, as well as Giant Spider Greenseer, which is an ultra rare plus another epic, and Greenseer is not a kingdom epic, so that's normally the component that people are missing from this team. And same banner, you can just run this team with a Giant Spider Greenseer Tyree combo. Actually, I should probably put the other way around. There we go. And that's basically how you farm maps. So let's just get into the battle. Obviously, you don't try hitting them at all. If you're too new of a player and you don't have the stats yet to be able to tank, because eventually the Luther will be able to attack buff to the point that he might kill you with the gate. That is a problem, and I guess you could try incorporating a Dryad or some kind of other shield if that does become an issue for you. In late game, you have enough stats that becomes basically irrelevant, though. But let's see. Though in late game, you also wouldn't be needing maps. Yeah, this is basically how you farm all the maps. Once we get it going, it should pretty much sustain itself for the most part. There we go. And now we just go crazy on the board. I forget if you set the difficulty higher to make sure you don't kill them. I think I used to do that, because they do die pretty easily. Yeah, I think I did set it to Warlord 4 in the past, because we can accidentally do a lot of damage to them. Too bad there isn't a way to put a Leshy on this team really easily, because if there was a way to do that, we could entangle ourselves to make sure that we wouldn't be able to kill them. But yeah, essentially what you do, you just keep looping this and get as many maps as you possibly can until you get 20, or until you accidentally kill the entire enemy team, either or, whatever happens first. And yeah, that's basically the whole premise of map farming. And this does approximately 100 maps per hour with this particular team. Depends on how lucky or unlucky you end up getting. But yeah, that's basically what you do. Pretty straightforward premise. And if we need a little bit of extra mana, we can just do that. For the most part with this team, you don't actually target at purples or greens if you can help it. Occasionally you do kind of have to go for it, though. Biggest issue that normally happens, which I don't think there is a way to really get around this for the most part, is yeah, there's a lot of skulls that kind of get kept on the board that will eventually make you win, which you kind of want to not win, as weird as that may seem. Winning is bad because then you have to go and reset up all of your mana again, and it wastes the amount of map potential that you could possibly get, because you have to go and set up you have to get all of your mana pools back up. Whereas when we're in this state right now, we don't have to worry about getting our mana pools up, because they're basically never going to deplete themselves, ever. Because once we reach this point, it's just never going to end, as far as our capability to keep taking extra turns off from the board here. Because we're moving so many things off the board, we're always going to be able to land a Giant Spider or a Tyree. But yeah, that's basically how you map farm. And as you can see, we got 4 maps in however much time that was. And it is a bit luck-based. As far as how many maps you get, obviously. It's you can get random cascades. I think one of them we end up getting from that. And some of them we end up getting just from the Tyrees, of course. which is where the main bulk of all of your maps come from in one of these battles. So let me try it on Warlord 4. I do believe I used to do it on this specific difficulty. I haven't actually done map farming for ages, so I'm a little rusty at it, because obviously as a late game player, I have no need whatsoever to ever farm maps. I think I have over like 2,000 right now. There's some people that have like over 10,000. There's currently no need to ever really go for them. But as you can see, we got back up. It doesn't take that long to get it going, but sometimes it can get annoying if you have a really bad starting board. You can waste a bit of time in the amount of maps you can gain per hour. Yeah, this is very, very, very easily, regardless of which variant you're using, minimum 60 maps per hour. But it can do upwards of 100, even almost 120 on really lucky hours. Of course, with 20%, it can be quite random. Not to mention, you also have the factor of things cascading multiple times, which also can yield you additional maps. You will very rarely ever actually hit the 20 map cap, though. The reason for this is you'll basically kill out the enemy team before you ever reach that cap. So you don't really need to ever worry about that much. Just keep throwing it down. And because Tyree, for whatever reason, I have no clue why, but if you use a Tyree on your team, the map cap is increased from 10 to 20. I never really understood that. I guess that's helpful, but I don't know. I've never actually even reached past 10 before in a battle. I don't know if it's just because I'm unlucky or what, but I think the most I've... Oh, he killed one. That will happen when you set the difficulty higher. It's not that big a deal, but that's why you put the giant spider in the second slot, so that you get a new meat shield. And at this point, while we are one troop down, we still have a meat shield, so the good bulk of what he will do as far as damage, as you can obviously see, is all of the little pokes that he does off of skulls, and that's essentially makes up almost all of his damage. And because of that, if we keep doing a meat shield with the giant spider there, we very rarely will ever need to worry about dying. It's not really a concern, and even if we do, you still keep the maps, so even if you win or lose a battle, it's kind of irrelevant. Ideally, you would want to win, because it's actually quicker to win than to lose normally. Because if we lose our giant spider, for example, right now, which shouldn't happen, but if we were for whatever reason, it would slow down the battle quite a bit, because then we'd have very little board control since we would only have the double Tyree, and then we'd have to just keep taking skulls until they die. And with the double stone skin, that could be a little bit annoying. That's also why you do it on this particular battle if you're doing it similar to what we're doing right now, because on this battle you can they have double stone skin. Actually, they have triple stone skin. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have stone skin, but he has an armor buff. But these two have stone skin at the end, so even if you keep taking skulls like this, you're not really going to kill them, or at least not in a quick fashion. So you don't really need to worry about accidentally overkilling them or something. That doesn't really happen that often. We'll go take that, get ourselves our mana back, and as you can see, we just replace it with another meat shield, and the cycle continues until we get as many maps as we want. And that is essentially how you map farm in Gems of War, in a nutshell. And you either use this team or the other team I mentioned earlier, the Dryad, Goblin Shaman Dryad, with a Tyree at the end with a Frozen Banner. Both of them run with Frozen Banner. Because you need Frozen on this team for Giant Spider, you need Frozen on the other team for your Dryad. And it looks like we are up to 6 maps, so we've been at 6 maps for a while. Can we get our 7th already? Oh no, he killed Spider. Oh no, never mind. He killed the little spider. For a second, I thought he killed the actual spider. Also, thank you, Bruce Mallet, for the subscribe. Much appreciated. And we'll throw that on yellows. So let's do that over. Put that down. Our spider back up. And up. Come on, cast. We're still stuck at 6. Come on. Still 6. Come on. At least give us 7 by the time we finish this battle. And we can get a resummon soon. Oh, oops, I don't have any mana. I should have actually threw that on green or purple right there. That was a mistake, but we did get it right back up. What do we do here? I guess we do it on browns then. Get our mana right back up. And just throw that down. There we go. We finally got a 7th map. Throw that onto... You know what? I'm actually going to do it on purple here, just so we instantly get it right back up. Throw that for an extra turn. And I guess we do blue next. Come on, let's see the 8. Ah, we killed it. There we go, 7 maps in I think 3 minutes, I think that was. Somewhere around there, maybe 4 minutes. But yeah, that's the whole premise of how map farming is done. Not really that needed. It's mainly an early game thing that you would need to do. Once you reach late game, you have more maps than you ever know what to do with. Actually, we're about to hit 3,000 very soon. But yeah, that is map farming in a nutshell. If anyone else has any other questions, team builds you want me to do, anything of the such, feel free to leave them in chat. No, I was farming map because someone was asking a question about maps. They asked what is the best place to use Tyri to farm maps. That was the question. So we just went over how to farm maps. But yeah, no, maps are not doing anything. And next patch is not bringing anything for them, what I'm aware of. Hopefully something in the future will make maps viable. And when they do, we'll start doing that a lot more than map farming. But yeah, at this current moment in time, unless you're a newer player, you have no need to ever farm maps. Once you reach like a few hundred maps, you're never going to need to really touch them again. Unless you play maps a lot, but very, very few players actually play maps a lot due to how low the rewards are. It's mainly just an early game thing because they drop gems pretty consistently, and they also have no EXP. So if you're trying to sustain a lower level to have easier PvP Explorer, or if you just need to get some quick souls or something like that as an early game player, it's one of the easier ways to kind of just get a little bit of resources. I really enjoy Treasure Hunt. I just wish it was more rewarding for actually playing it, which they are going to be addressing in the future. Both Arena and Treasure Hunt are going to be reworked once again to make them viable, so that late game players will actually do them. One thing I really wish they would do, which I actually thought they were going to do a while back, though I kind of misunderstood what they were saying. I wish they would make a leaderboard similar to how there's a PvP leaderboard, but make it for maps and Arena as well. Basically like total amount of arena wins and maybe like total amount of maps done or something like that, or maybe the highest score for a map in a week, and basically give out some small rewards for that, similar to how PvP has the thing. Because for PvP, it's the same really active players every single time, but for things like Treasure Hunt and Arena, a lot less people play these, and particularly newer players play these, so it would give them additional resources that they could be able to obtain each week just from doing what they already do. We'll go and throw that down. Go take the skull, and I'll die to burn. Random burn kill. I'll go move that over and that's match off the skull. You kind of wish the devs would have used those dark exploding extra damage skulls from Puzzle Quest 1 in Gems of War. Oh, the ones that have a +5 and explode whenever you take them or do something with them. Those are kind of interesting. They did mention before, like, they were thinking of, like, how they might be able to implement some, like, board-related stuff. Gems of War is actually really odd in its match 3, in that it's basically always a constant 8x8 board. It never has any of those other kind of small match 3 quirks that quite a few other games have, such as things that block your path or things that are dangerous on the board and stuff like that. They have considered it, but I think the main thing that they were concerned with is balancing it. Like, they were thinking of something like that, like when they needed to nerf exploders, which kind of still need to be nerfed in a way. They were already nerfed once. They used to be 100% mana gain. Now they are only a 70% mana gain whenever you explode. Why does it not show that he's an exploder? But you can see it on him. Destroys gems, it's now only does 70% generated instead of what it used to do, which was, of course, 100%. But they were thinking about, like, maybe some kind of dangerous gem on the board, so if you were to, like, explode it with a mass exploder and just kept spamming, it would actually hurt you and be a consequence and a counter to exploders. Currently, the counter to exploders is basically what he's using now, the whole mana drain situation, because exploders and Queen Mab, mana burn and mana drain are really effective against exploders, particularly Famine, because he gets to take all of the mana that you have accumulated and basically use it against you. And since exploders gain the most mana out of anything in the game, it's basically the counter to them, essentially. Well, we'll go move that up. It gives us a rack and everything else. And we got the kill we needed, though we still 1 HP. You know what? I'm going to let it burn. I could kill it literally right now with an explode, but I'm going to let it burn. There we go. There was actually, I think, like a 10 or 20% chance he would have lived there. But we'll take that chance. Have I tried 2 times Humility, Lady Arnarial, and War? Why would we need to? Double Humility, Lady Arnarial, War. What is the loop within that? I guess you can keep throwing Humilities at blues and hope you keep Lady Arnarial into the blue. But War doesn't need any benefit from HP, and the chance that you would hit a Humility onto attack is relatively low. You'd almost be better off just doing double, what's his name? double courage on that team instead of double humility. It would cover one less color, but you would get stats that you actually need more often than double humility. Yeah, Luther is an interesting troop. They did end up buffing him. He's basically formed around the premise that you're going to keep taking skulls constantly. It's not really that good these days, mainly because there's the whole game is basically countered around that. Not to mention there are things that now just passively entangle when they take skulls, which used to not exist when Luther was first introduced to the game. So he's not really balanced to be able to handle stuff like entangle. But yeah, I don't know. He has potential. He's basically just a full AoE attack gain to your team. I think what will really make him viable or useful again is if they ever make a troop that boost ratios based on the entire attack of your team. Currently, everything with an attack boost ratio only boosts based on a single troop's attack. So their self, essentially. Ketris does it on itself, well, as well as some other stats. Cyclops, War, stuff like that. They all boost based on their own attack, not on the team's attack. But if they did have one, that was kind of like a... what's an example of that? Tesla is kind of like that, but basically if they added troop that basically boost ratios on the total attack on your entire team, that is when Luther would actually become pretty good. And Innkeeper. Innkeeper's been dead content since it was released. I don't think it was ever really intended to be that useful. I was hoping that it would have been more of a negative and a higher impact as far as the reward, but all it does is a -1 magic, and it doesn't really have a higher attack gain than other alternatives within the game. A little bit of a weird troop. I really wish it was something like a -5 magic, but it did substantially more... oh, come on. How are you still alive? Substantially more attack gain than what it currently does. There we go. Throw that down. Get yourself a poke. And there we go. So finally. How many revives was that? 2? 3? Wasn't even counting that time. There we go. Vangor has returned. Welcome, Vangor. Welcome back. Also, hello, Toby. Welcome as well. Give the Song of Famine spell a whirl with your Puzzle Quest 1 Bard. Expensive, but Pestilence is an amazing stats effect. Sword, a combo, disease, poison. From what I remember, yes, that is the plan that I'm doing with the Puzzle Quest playthrough that we're doing. The whole plan is get ourselves a poison, diseased weapon. I don't know what the third perk is that we can get on it, but figure out where on earth poison and disease is on the board. Get it on our weapon, and then we basically just instantly win. Poison into disease is insanely powerful on Bard and Puzzle Quest 1, because poison does 1 damage per turn, and it stacks up to multiple instances, I believe up to 4 instances, and disease does -1 to all manas per turn, which would be kind of cool if disease in this game did that too, because currently disease in Gems of War only does a half mana gain. It's basically a half a silence, which is odd. That they basically would add a repeat trait at half effect. But that's essentially what disease is in this game. But yeah, could you imagine if disease either did one of two things? It either drained the mana of the diseased troop by 1 every turn, or it's lowered all stats on them by 1 per turn. That would make disease used so much in this game if they were to make that small change. And it wouldn't really be that overpowered. Barely anything diseases, and everything that currently does disease is essentially dead content because of how weak it is. Though it would make Plague pretty strong, though, if it got either of those two changes. But Plague doesn't really get much usage anyways. He's mainly just a last slot tank for the most part. That's the only thing he really gets used for. That and his minor reduction on teams that are really magic dependent, just to make sure that they can't do anything. Also, I think we just lost. He has too many mana drains at this point. But yeah, that team right there is about the biggest counter we could ever fight against with what we're currently messing around with. If we see it again, we might have to go switch. Actually, we'll just go switch right now. Which one of these two should we go into? I'll go for this one, I guess. Throw in the really heavy Dawnbringer with it. Get the Dragon Soul and everything else. Yeah, as far as puzzle quests, I've only ever completed the game once, and I did it with the warrior class. This time we're going 100% though with the bard. when we do our puzzle quest playthrough. And 100% takes a lot longer from what I am aware of than what a normal playthrough will take. I believe our first playthrough took us, I think, 15 hours, somewhere around there. I forget exactly. It might have actually been a little bit less than that. But this playthrough that we're currently doing is likely going to last us minimum 100 hours because of all the completionist things that we're going to be doing after we completed out most of the storyline. Let's see. I give him that. I don't see why not. I need the mana, so giving him all that isn't too bad. There we go. Oh, we didn't get going, though. How did nothing get the full mana? That is a bit concerning. 1 mana off again. Oh, that's bad. I guess we skull poke. We get green out of it, so it's not like we're not taking mana. Okay, and now we get everything rolling. Hopefully he'll stay tame. Okay, that is not tame. Okay, 9 purples. We're gonna wait then. Still 9 purple. I guess we're throwing it. There we go. And take ourselves some red, get the last little bit of his mana, and we'll be good to go. Now the only thing we need to make dragons perfect is a really outstanding brown, dragon. I think they were hoping that the eye would serve that purpose, but it doesn't. It definitely doesn't. The problem with the eye with dragon teams is the dragon eye, for whatever reason, they made it to be really good as a single target, like with single target troops. The problem with that, though, is almost no dragon is single target. Actually, I don't think a single one is, other than Shadow Dragon and Drake Ghost 1337. And both of them use purple, so that's kind of redundant. Yeah, if they ever added one single target dragons, so that's kind of the whole premise of dragons, is that they're full AoE. I don't know. I find the weapon that they added to be really strange. It doesn't really seem to fit that well, the whole Dragon Eye thing. Dragonet. Oh, yeah, Dragonet as well. Yeah, Dragonet's actually really interesting. It's not a troop I use that often. Like, barely at all. I just use it for fun, because it's a really fun troop to kind of mess around with because of its stats effects. But, yeah, it's a really interesting troop in that oh, wait. Oops, I should have done the other way around. I was even looking at that, like, yeah, that's going to happen. And then I completely take the other move, fail. But, yeah, Dragonet's really interesting in that it, there's no troop in the entire game that can place more stats effects on one single enemy than a Dragonet, which is slightly odd. You'd think that would be a role of like some kind of legend or a mythic or something, but no. There is a rare troop that is better at stats affecting than anything else in the entire game. At least to a single target. We need Purple Surge. We did not have Purple Surge, nor do we have a drop for Purple Surge, so we'll just move that over. This might be another one of those mana drain times when we just completely fail the battle. It appears to be leaning towards that at the moment, because we do not have anything to really get up with at the moment. We'll try for the green. Don't get it. Shuffle. What else we need? I can't let them scope poke us, so we can't do that. I guess we have to just take this yellow then. Oh, this is not taking the yellow. And what on earth is this board? Is that red the only move? If so, we just lost. Yep, that is the only move, unless I'm missing something. He'll take the skull, he'll get a drain, and I did not see a comeback from this. We don't have anything quick enough to get past the Scion. We could just skull kill it, that would be great. So right here we'll want to take a mana that we don't use, which is, I think, literally nothing. So, and that's also basically the only move for the most part. Every single one would have taken double mana like that. Well, we have no manas, except on Elamagrim, which doesn't really serve us much of purpose. That's the last thing we need to be casting on this team. So we'll just throw a poke, so at least now we don't have to deal with Scion. We also got the extra turn off the top, so that helps some. We'll try for another poke, I guess. Oh wait, actually got it, nice. So we'll take a red here, try it into a purple. Nice. Oh, well, I didn't get the purple, but I got the red and the yellow around it. That's actually better than getting the purple. There's still some more magic. And only 28 damage. Surprised we don't have more after all that. But we'll throw this down. And now we are diseased, so we gain half mana. There are still some things through disease that actually still gain full mana, though, which is weird. For example, Crystallize. Whenever you enchant a troop, it still gains 2 mana per turn. Even if it's diseased, it doesn't actually gain 1 per turn. I I wonder if they're even aware of that. Because disease is such a relevant thing in this game. They might not even be aware that things like that happen. Also, if I'm not mistaken, if you use a troop that gives a troop half mana, or some kind of static mana amount, like let's say a Dwarven Gate, which gives 5 mana to all troops, that will not be stopped by a disease. It will still do the full amount of mana instead of being halved, which is odd because kind of the whole point of disease is to half all of those values. Well, we'll go take a skull there. Looks like we made our comeback, barely. And there's our skull poke for the kill, and down it goes. Hello, Sajak, welcome. When will we, the Ninja Turtles as mythics? When will the Ninja Turtles be as mythics or something like that? No mythic Ninja Turtles. Though there is a thing that's coming into the game that kind of looks like a turtle soon. For Merlantis, I believe it is. It's actually on that loading screen. Yeah, we aren't getting no turtles. The Dragon Turtle's pretty cool. I wish it was more useful, though. Let me see. Yeah, Dragon Turtle. The premise of it seemed like it would work. But Submerge is just so awful that it doesn't. Poor Submerge. I wish it was more useful. It avoids all attacks, but that's really misleading because it doesn't actually avoid literally all attacks. There are functions within the game that it can't dodge, actually a lot of them. It doesn't dodge stats effects, it doesn't dodge stat gains, it doesn't dodge traits that still do it to everything. Like even Kraken, which does physical damage to all enemies, which is something that it should dodge, it doesn't dodge. I don't know if they're going to be addressing that, maybe next patch. If I could get one on the beta, I actually want to test it. Unfortunately, this time around on the beta, as of this current moment in time, they have not given us free resources to go mess around with, to go try different troops and various troops and such. So I don't actually have access to those. Maybe once they connect it to the live servers, I'll be able to test that. Because at the current moment, the beta is not currently on the live servers. So I'm having to use a completely brand new account again. Yeah, it's like our 12th, 13th, 14th account now. I can't actually show anything with it though, because it's just for beta testing. Let's see. Well, he just throws that down. It's our convert. Let's move all the things. And do we throw Dragon Soul for luck? There's barely any purple, and this would almost serve no purpose. Nothing's actually really going to die other than Dragon Soul, so we'll just throw that down. And we do indeed get it next match. Oh wait, we didn't? Okay, that was just multiple surges. Apparently that wasn't actually next turn. So I'll just wipe that out. Here we go. After level 1500, it should give up key per level, or VIP key per level. I don't know, that seems cool. Hey, another arcane, nice. Oh, we're getting really lucky. That's like our 3rd arcane in an hour. From doing PvP, not even explore. That's actually really good for PvP. Because it's about a 3% per battle chance that you would end up getting one. Any good Crimson Bat teams? Yes. The budget team I normally suggest is the Soothsayer, Herdmaster, Soothsayer, Crimson Bat team. It's pretty standard, very cheap Crimson Bat. You then can rework it into better teams later on if you want. Though that team alone is pretty much all you really need to get them working. And it's one of my personal favorite as well. But yeah, basically any team with a Gorgolfa, if you want to play protective, you can do it that way and just mana generate and kill it with full AoE true damages and like core vashes and stuff like that. You can go down the Draculus route if you happen to have one of those, or double Crimson Bat, and you could just spam it with like a Valkyrie or something with one other mana generator. You can use it with a Death if you have a fully traded Death by some chance. That allows you to perpetually do 2x skull damage. You can use, speaking of that, you can use Crimson Bat in a 2x skull damage team if you have them fully traded. Basically, after you cast them once, or anything that does true damage to everything once, you will be able to do triple damage, or sorry, I wish, double damage to everything whenever you do skulls. So, yeah, there's plenty of options. But, oh, I should probably go done one right now. But my personal favorite is Soothsayer Herd, Soothsayer Crimson Bat. If you can 2-cycle that, it's actually one of the quickest PvP teams in the game. If you can't 2-cycle it, then it's quite a bit slower though. And it's about the same pace or slower than most of the regular teams that get used. Well, we'll go throw that down. Or, oh, I'm throwing it upwards and it's like, oh, let's throw it down. Directions. Okay, we'll throw that, get our explosion. Get this really big one. Do we throw Dragon Soul first? Do I throw anything first? Yeah, we throw this one. Oh, was there an extra turn just sitting there? It might have been 1 HP. If that was an extra turn, was that an extra turn? Did I just miss? No, that was an extra turn. I don't think it was. No, that was an extra turn. Okay, I was gonna say, if I missed an extra turn, he would be dead right now, if there was one. Unfortunately, there wasn't though. So yeah, never mind. False alarm. The reason I said that was because it was flashing right as it did that, but that was just the game showing me suggested move. It wasn't actually the extra turn. False alarm. Let's see. No, that's not true. He's saying that he wants it to happen. After level 1000, you do gain an event key after every single level, but there's no additional reward that occurs at a higher level. That would be cool if they did add that. There's only one person in the entire game that's even over 1,500 though, and it will be like that for several more months, and it's him. But yeah. So literally only one person would be gaining that benefit if they were to change it. And like in about 6 months from now, there'd probably only be like 3 or 4 people that would be able to claim that if they were to do such a change. So they probably have very little incentive to actually make a change like that, because it affects 0.00001% or something of the amount of people that actually play the game, and ever will, because a lot of people are still far, far away from that level range. If I go to the thing right now, if I go to the high score thingy, it's not the most up-to-date accurate thing, because it only shows it based on people that actually come to the website who have signed up to it. So it only updates when they go back to the page. So it's definitely not the most accurate of things. But we do know that the 2 people who are currently the top 2 on this are the top 2 in the entire game. That has been confirmed by the devs. And based on that, we can just go over there and see that Techni is, I don't know how updated it is level 1,751. I believe that's pretty updated. Actually, I could literally just check my guild, and that would tell me what his level is. I forgot he's currently in our guild right now. Let's see. Let's see. Where is Rasta? He is level... Wait, where'd he go? Wait, did I not promote? There you are. Level 1,759, which is the highest level in the entire game. The next closest is Ratbox at level 1,394, which I assume is about 1,400 or actually 1,450. And there are a few people that are also pretty close. So yeah, in like 6 months from now, there would only be about 5 to 6 level 1,500 pluses. So it'd be a very, 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 very ridiculously small amount of people. I honestly wouldn't mind if they gave 1 VIP key every single time after that point. Though anyone at that level probably has essentially everything in the entire game already. So that wouldn't really make much of a difference if you just give them 1 VIP key every single level. Not to mention, a single level probably takes upwards of several hours at that level range. Even if you're specifically farming XP, it would still take several hours. Right now, I could actually probably gain 1 level per hour at my current level range if we were to be using a pure EXP farming team. Maybe a little bit longer than that, actually. Maybe 2 hours. I actually don't know. Techni would probably know what the hour range is for that. But, yeah, somewhere around that general ballpark. The card Stonehammer, what do you think about this card? It is 100% useless in its current state. I would never bother using it. Even if it's your only mythic, I would not even bother with it. It has, it blocks too much mana. They could lower him to 20 mana cost, and I would still be hesitant to use him. It's just that if he misses, you essentially lose the battle if he misses even once. And he doesn't really hit his ability that often. So he loses a lot. He's really clunky, he takes up too much mana, has to be used in first slot, so he's blocking half the mana you even use. So if you're up against Scion or Mana Drain, I almost just said if you're up against Santa. If you're up against Scion or Mana Drain, it gets disabled way too easily. And if you are up against something that can deny out the 2 mana that he uses, it gets denied even further. And it's just really, really clunky. And more often than not, it serves almost no purpose to a team. I'd rather use some commons and rares rather than using a stone hammer in first slot. Santa is hard to kill, true. The best Stonehammer team you've used is Stonehammer, Courage, and Mercy. Oh yeah, the Courage, that is somewhat okay. Using it with a boost ratio Courage. I think we used to use that with like a Skull Spam team when he first came out. Because obviously with Skull Spam, that's one of the few things he's kind of okay with. Because two reasons. One is Courage. The second is he has 80% Skull mitigation. So if the AI is going to constantly keep taking skulls, you really have no concern about anything that the AI is even doing, because you're going to be able to mitigate all of it by 80%, so you don't really need to worry about it, which is nice. Well, I'll go move that down. What a throw. We'll take the red into purple. Get that rolling. The point system for Guild War confuses you. You swept today without a single troop loss, yet only earned 8,497 points. On other days, you'll lose multiple troops while earning... well, it's based on several factors. It's based on how quickly you win the battle. And by that, it means the actual amount of turns that are taken. So even if you do extra turns, those still count as turns. So if you are, for example, using an extra turn spam team, you are actually going to be losing score, not earning it. Because even if you keep it on your turn with some kind of loop, you are still losing points per turn you take. Essentially, the longer a Guild War battle takes, the more points you will lose, potentially. Every single one that goes by. Additionally, you need to gain more mana than your enemy. So if your enemy is, for whatever reason, gaining more mana than you, you would lose quite a substantial amount of points. Also, if the enemy somehow does a similar or more damage than you, you will end up losing points. So if you have a lot of HP and armor buffers, or if you have like some kind of summon spam and they keep killing you out, even if you do keep all 4, if they keep doing more damage than you, when you're just trying to kill 4 of them that aren't resummoning, then you are going to be at a disadvantage as far as points. And those are the main factors. And of course, make sure you use pure color. If you're even missing 1 away from a pure color team, you would lose a lot of points. Though I don't believe that's the case in what you're doing. But yeah, those are some things that could be lowering it some. I don't think I've ever actually gone that low from using a standard team, though. Generally, the lowest I've scored so far is, I think, 9,000, so I don't know exactly what might have happened in that battle to make it even lower than that. Yeah, they did make it a really weird, confusing point system when they changed it. I actually don't mind it too much, mainly because the point system prior to it was basically, if you didn't do a perfect arena, basically, well, perfect arena was, or not arena, perfect Guild War. Basically, if you didn't do a perfect Guild War, you would just instantly lose. Because it was so easy to do a perfect Guild War before. All you had to do was use a pure color and make sure you had 4 troops by the end of the battle. That's all you had to do. So it put an over prioritization on summoning, which has been removed now. Because before, it was 100% mandatory that you finish the battle with 4 troops. If you didn't, that's basically the only thing that would make you lose any points at all. So it was 100% mandatory every single battle you ever did to have a summoner. Now you don't actually have to do that. You can go put other stuff, you can experiment with stuff. You still have other conditions that you have to reach, and you still have to keep things alive, but it's not as big of a penalty now, having a troop dead, as compared to before. But yeah, they could definitely make improvements, that is for sure. Though, honestly, I do feel like it is better than the previous system they have. It's definitely not optimal, though. Not to mention, nowheres in the entire game does it actually explain how the point system works that I just was talking about. There's not a single thing that makes a single mention on it. You would just have to know, and that's the only way. There's a lot of weird things in this game that aren't explained anywhere whatsoever, or they'll have like one really quick tooltip that will very vaguely explain it. And if you want more advanced explanations, there's nothing that ever occurs within the game itself. I'll throw down Dragon Soul. Please kill it. Oh, I think we just lost. Wow. Let's see. I wouldn't actually mind if mana drain wasn't a thing in this game. It's probably the most annoying thing that actually still exists currently. Mainly due to its lack of counters. If there are actually counters, I wouldn't mind it at all. The problem is there's very few things that counter it other than additional mana drainers, or just winning so quickly that they don't even get to do it. What do we do here? Better using things that have some smaller mana pool, which I guess is kind of the main thing of why they're keeping as is. They're trying to encourage people to use smaller mana pools. But even if you're using smaller mana pools, you can still get completely destroyed. You could be using a full team with like 10 mana pools and still get destroyed by drain spam. Do we take Skull? I think I do, because if I take Skull into an Element Grim... Oh, actually, I have to. That wasn't actually even a question. If I didn't take it, we would have died. Did we actually win? We actually won. There we go. Nice. Barely. 12 HP, 1 turn away from a Spirit Fox death. That was pretty lucky at the end there. Let's go take our revenge. Hello, Daniel. Well, it doesn't help that I'm using this team. Like, this team, I can understand that it gets destroyed by drain spam. Like, that is fine, actually, that this one gets destroyed. But there are teams that have very, very low mana cost that can still get absolutely decimated by drain spam. And that's about the biggest counter there really is, yet it doesn't even properly work against mana drain. But yeah, something like this, I could actually understand, like, if this constantly keeps losing to mana drain. I actually don't mind that too much, because that's what it's supposed to counter, really high mana cost troops like this. Let's see. I'll just let him do whatever. He's gonna get a Mercy here. He's gonna get 2 mana pairs. I don't mind though. He'll throw that down. I kind of want to not Element Grim for the reason of Mercy. And good, I did not give him a board, so we'll just throw that down, and that is match right there. There we go. You're using Ketris, Ragnagord, and Furnace, and Merlion today. Oh, the Merlion silence. That can be useful. Merlion's actually surprisingly good. Out of everything that was added in Merlantis, there's really only 2 troops I even consider existing within that kingdom. Everything else is basically just useless for the most part. They have very, very niche purposes, but most of them are so niche that you would never actually need them. There's only 2, really. There's Azura, and there's Merlion. Those are pretty much the only 2 in this entire kingdom that can be used with a lot of stuff. There are 2 other ones, though they are so niche that you would almost never use them, and that is Leviathan and Wave Rider. Leviathan you would use if the first lot... Basically, if you needed a all-dragon team that needed Immune to Devour in last slot, plus the capability of moving whoever they have in first to the back. The weird thing about Leviathan, with his traits and the combo and everything, is he's made to counter 2 things, though no one team will ever really have these 2 things combined for the most part, or at least as based on what currently exists within the game. It has counter to full AoE, and it has counter to skull spam. I say that because normally the main teams that you'd want to actually use a Leviathan on are teams that are running skull spam, because they'll be running with a specific troop in first slot that utilize skulls that you can then move to the back with his ability. So those are the 2 really big things that it counters. The problem with that, though, is there's no need to ever need to counter both of those simultaneously. The other problem that it has is it's actually really low damage for a full AoE. Not the absolute lowest. I think it would hit on average about 23 in late game. But compared to other options that are available, it is towards the lower side, especially since it has a 100% chance of ending its turn when it does its ability, which is a pretty big downside as well. But yeah, those are essentially the only 2 troops in the game, or in this kingdom, Azura and Merlion, for the most part. Wave Rider also has some potential, mainly because of his trait, but if they ever add that trait to literally anything other than him, he will become useless. And they'll eventually do that, so he's useless. Oh, I meant to go do that one Crimson Mat team. How have I not done that for like 4 battles now? Let me go do that right after this battle. I meant to do that one that someone was asking about when they were asking me to, or they were asking for a Crimson Bat team, and then we gave them a team, but I never actually went and go use that team. So let me go do that right after this. Also, I'll go give out the redeem code too while we're at it. It is about that time. Let's see, we'll go take a skull poke, and we'll have another one later on. Where do we move? Where do we move? Let's go take some reds, I guess. Take a purple after if he does. Oh, why you do this to us again? You know, I probably actually should have not taken that purple, because now we're in a really weird state. We're, okay, never mind, we can take that. Yeah, he's gonna get another drain on this. Yep, not much we can do against that. Take the red over. Do we have +1? I think we do. Yeah, we do. Please get lucky. Nope, not lucky enough. Oh, but we did kill the Scion. Nice. So we'll throw that down again. He's also blocking his famine slightly, which is nice for us, because that's actually the biggest threat on this team. Never mind, he has it up. Rip. Yeah, we'll just go poke him. And now he gets famine. It drains everything. And what does that leave us with? I guess we'll just go and take the yellow, take that down. Maybe take a red to a blue. Yeah, I'll take a red to a blue. I don't see why not. Get a little poke. His little skull to go throw. He killed one of our other damage sources. Shouldn't matter though. As long as we get Dragon Soul right back up, cast that, pretty much win from there. That should give us the shield we need. No, he's gonna drain it. Yep. Well then, I guess we go take a blue to try barriering here, so he could stop hitting us with gigantic hits. Take a skull here, that'll kill him out. We also get the boost ratio on all the yellows. All the yellows, I mean. Off the yellows. Let's see. Purple, Surge, go. No skull, no follow-up. But we'll go move that down, get our Dragon Soul. He will eventually kill it off of just the reduction that he does. Hopefully it'll revive if he does. Hey, speaking of that, there we go, very nice. And that doesn't even matter if it revived. We still would have been able to win off of just the Dawnbringer. But there we go, why not? Revive is better than no revive. 4 times Peasant team? We did 4 times Peasant yesterday. Why is everyone asking for 4 times Peasant again all of a sudden? But yeah, we already did 4 times Peasant yesterday and completely got obliterated. Okay, let me go use the team I mentioned earlier, which I don't even know if he's here anymore. But let me go and do this. We've done this before, but it is one of my favorite Chromos of Bat teams, and one of the most budget teams you could ever make with him that is actually viable. It's fully traded Soothsayer twice, with a Herdmaster, ideally fully traded, though not required, and a Crimson Bat with no traits. You can trade them, but it's not required. So basically just fully traded Soothsayer is the bottom line. Banners red, blue, and we'll be good to go. If I can find where Mr. Scales is, there we go. And let's throw this down. Oh, you're still here, Toby. There we go. But yeah, this was the team I was mentioning earlier that I meant to do. And then we'll go give out the redeem code. Okay, so here. We normally want to take this in areas where we can land extra turn cascades. For example, here's okay, because we can land a blue, I know there's more than just that. Where'd it go? We can land a blue, a red, a green, and a green. So if we do that right there, we land a green and a red. So yeah, we normally want to do stuff like that whenever we can try getting it in. Soothsayer is generally a troop that takes a long time to figure out where the most optimal cast is, which is a little bit annoying because ever since they added 4 times speed, he can be a bit of a slow troop because of how much time you sometimes have to invest into figuring out where his best move is. But it is worth it. If you're looking for a win rate, particularly in something like a Guild War battle, unfortunately you can't really use something like this in a Guild War battle, but Soothsayer in general, that's like the main area where he'd really shine these days. He can still be used in PvP though and such. He's just a little bit slower than what you may traditionally use as a team as far as getting him going. Well, we just throw that down, get ourselves a Crimson Bat, and ideally we will 2-cycle a Crimson Bat, and that's the quickest you can ever really win with him. Ideally that'd be full mana right now, it's not though, and all we have to do is just take a single swipe and then throw it down. He'll take a little bit of mana, he'll take a skull, doesn't matter if that dies because we just win, and that is essentially what this team is for the most part. And if you can get a double cast, it can do some of the quickest wins actually in the game, though if it triple casts, it can take quite a bit of time. There's quite a bit of a distance in time between the second and third cast normally, because you use up all of your mana initially to try to get the first 2, and then by the time you get to your third, I don't know, you just have generally you have a pretty big gap in the amount of mana you have on your team by that point. Anyways, let me go give out a redeem code. We'll have another one later in the stream, if I can go find where on earth it is. Should be over here. Okay, what's the next one down the line? Let's go do this one. How you doing? With double G, a GG. Let's see, let me copy that. Copy. Put that all the way up front. Copy all of that again. And oops, I should have put it. Oh, here you guys go. Put that there. Hello, hello, Daniel. Welcome. Van the G-Man. That's funny. I'd never heard anyone call what's his name? Vangor that. Anyways, let me go and put this into the overlay. Redeem code. That all in right in there. Boom, boom. Get rid of all that. That's just a link. And there we go. Enter it already. How are you doing with double G? And that will give the same reward, the 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Your invite code can be found underneath settings, whatever yours is right there. And the redeem code is what is below us, as well as what we just posted into chat. And you use that at gemsofwar.com underneath the game code. Only works for PC and mobile users though. But type in our invite code or whatever yours is, the redeem code that's below us. I'm not a robot. Redeem and success. And that gives the normal reward. As in our mail. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Go claim our key. And what do we got here? We got a lava elemental, great troop. Like this is something that I would replace a what's his name? A stone hammer with. It gets a single explode, so you get a little bit of board control in there. It's only 10 mana cost, so not that bad. Deals a really decent amount of damage to the first slot. And it's boosted at a 3 times boost ratio. This is a particularly good troop for early game as well, if you happen to have one of them. He's an ultra rare, so most newer players probably do have him. He might be a little elusive for a couple weeks if you don't get lucky enough, but generally within your first month or so, you'd most likely have this troop. And yeah, it gets a really nice boost ratio off of reds. Can normally destroy about 4 reds, so that's additional 12 damage. Mine would be doing 40. Realistically, in early game, I think that's more towards like a 30, 25, somewhere around that general ballpark, but still around the level range, it's actually pretty decent. And it also burns them, which is 3 damage per turn, which of course early on in the game is a lot more effective than it is later in the game, because stats are a lot higher later in the game, whereas earlier on, 3 damage per turn is actually quite substantial amount of damage. One interesting thing about him too is if he kills the first lot with his ability, the second troop will be burned. So you still get the burn value regardless of if the first troop dies or not, which is kind of nice. He is also one of the few troops in the entire game. Actually, he might be the only one. No, I think there's 2. I think Shegra also has it, and maybe like one other one. But he's one of the only troops in the game that has the ability to burn, plus do 2 times skull damage to a enemy. He's also, I know for sure, he's the only one, though, that has a skull mitigation, plus 2 times to a specific effect, plus the ability to place that effect. And it even has immune to that effect, which is kind of funny as well. But yeah, he's pretty decent. I generally use him as a pretty core early game troop. He's has a decent amount of damage, and it's actually one of the better event troops that they've added. Back when they were going on like a really, really long streak of horrible events. That was the kind of the one that was like, oh wow, that's actually really good. That was a while back though. I think he's almost a year old at this point. Go move our reds. Lately, events have been really strong though. The events that they've been adding to the game. Very few have been dead content. Like this week actually has been dead content. But at least it has a small niche purpose. But for the most part, a good majority of them has been pretty good as of recently. Hopefully they keep up that trend. Because it's nice to have actually new things to use. It's slightly annoying when they'll like add a new troop and it's like, hey, we get this new thing to try for a week. But then afterwards, it's just not worth using compared to everything else that you have as an option. You know what? I probably should have... Oh, yeah, never mind. I was going to say I'd probably buffed up more to kill it, but it actually is such a large gap that that's not really going to make a difference. Okay, he's actually helping us there with the Mercy because we get more explosions. We'll throw down our second cast, and now we just need to get that third one. We'll throw that down. Didn't get lucky. Gets a bunch of cascades. Wow, a lot of cascades there. We'll go throw down for some manas. Let's move that over. What else? What else? We'll go throw that. There's some of our manas. Full mana, extra turn, and that is match if he doesn't revive. Good. And down he goes. But yeah, that's basically Crimson Bat in a nutshell. Or at least budget Crimson Bat. Wisp was super OP. Yes, Wisp was insanely strong. Too strong, actually. Which is why it was nerfed. Nowadays, ever since it did get nerfed, no one really runs it anymore for the most part. It's still a pretty decent troop. It has a high impact start, but it doesn't keep that high impact, which is one of the reasons why it probably doesn't get used as much for now. It's just not as viable. The whole point of it before was to kind of keep you sustaining it forever, but now you can sustain it for a little bit, for a couple turns once you first start out, but it dies out a lot quicker due to the higher mana cost and not having the +1 on purple. It also makes it so double Wisp isn't nearly as effective as what it used to be. Now if you're using a Wisp, you're basically only using one Wisp, and you're using it mainly for the Dispel. It's still one thing that Wisp still has, though. It has the quickest charm in the game, so if you're up against really high attack enemies. It also has the quickest Dispel in the game. I don't think anything has empowered Dispel yet, so until something does. Well, technically Wisp did when he was released, but it doesn't anymore. So because of that, I don't think anything has empowered Dispel anymore. It does have like 2 or 3 mana away from it, so it's pretty much already. But nothing is actually empowered with it. I don't believe so. Let me double check. Pretty sure that's not the case. Even if there was, there would be almost no point to it, because you would never need to actually cast it on the first turn. Because there's currently nothing that puts a stats effect, a positive stats effect, on an enemy immediately, at least yet. Yeah, there's nothing with an immediate Dispel. You know what? They should give Faunessa a Dispel on her ability. She's a really weird troop that doesn't really get used that much. She's kind of similar to a Wisp, except single target. She deals, and with no board control, she deals damage to an enemy equal to their attack, which is basically just charm, to a single target, and then gains a bunch of life for 8 mana. And she does have the link, though she's nowhere near as powerful as what a Wisp is, because Wisp essentially does twice as much as that for only 2 mana more, and before it used to do twice as much as that for only 1 mana more. Well, throw that down, get our explosions. Go and move over our skulls here. Get the solid poke. And what do we do from here? We'll go throw some spread, get our explosion, go from there. Oh, check Daniel. Sorry, my bad. You missed your question from above. Also, thank you for the subscribe. Hey, Abyssal. Welcome. You also do. Wait, you also do have him traded. So could you recommend something based on that after the redeem code? Oh, what? The Crimson Bat traded? Was that what you're referring to? Crimson Bat fully traded. Well, I assume you don't have Def. So you would need a quick start team of some kind. I'd probably go with... Oh no, I need to think of that for a second. I haven't used a Crimson Bat Skull spam without Def for a while. Normally whenever I make teams with him, I do it Def related. Do you have Keeper of Souls? Because you are going to need at least one legendary Skull spammer. I don't know which ones you have available though. Because the normal way that it is built is Crimson Bat, a mana generator in 2nd slot, a Skull Spammer in 3rd slot, and then something to hold down the team in 4th, which would, if you're up against Krakens, would just be like something with Immune, or maybe just another mana generator. It really just depends what your needs are for the battle. But that's basically the structure of a Crimson Bat Skull Spam team. But specifically what you have would determine what you would roll it with, though. Astral Spirit or Spirit Fox, last slot, would be a replacement for Def. Probably the Spirit Fox, because you get the immediate drain. I don't think you need more board control. It depends what your mana generator is. If you're running with like a Valkyrie, then yes, you'd probably want to go with the Astral Spirit. But if you're running with, if you don't really have a really needed yellow on your team, or even just not using yellow at all, you'd end up going with the Spirit Fox option. Yeah, that would be the structure. I don't know specifically what you would do for the team, though. We can go try one real quick. Oh, he has Stone Skin, but we can still tear through it. But this means we do full damage. So, Crimson Bat, 1st slot. Oh yeah, I forgot, need to click. Which generator should we do? I'm leaning towards Valkyrie. I almost always go Valkyrie with it. Just out of habit. Get a Valkyrie in there. Get a... The problem here, though, what Skull Spammer even fills with a Valkyrie? I don't think there's either that would go into... Oh, we could do Shegra if we did Hellcat. That would be a little bit weird because we deny out the red immediately. What am I looking for? I'm looking for... Skull... I guess brown, purple Skull. Is there anything other than Keeper of Souls that actually holds that down? I meant to click all color. Bone Dragon, but that doesn't really work anymore. No, it would have to basically be the keeper then. Keeper into a spirit fox. Which would be a little bit clunky with the Valkyrie. So I'd probably actually just go with the Astral then. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think we can get away with Bone Dragon, so put a keeper in there. That basically replaced Crimson Bat with a same color as well, so we wouldn't need to worry about that either. And then just put an Astral in there. Where did Astral go? Did I spell that wrong? Oh no, it's because I have all colors set. And there we go. Yeah, something along that line. And we don't use green, so we can use whatever the minus green banner is, which I believe is +2 blue, +1 yellow. Where'd it go? Green, green, green. Yep, there it is. And yeah, there we go. Good to go. That gives us a total +6 blue and +1 yellow. And we can just throw that down. It's going to be a little hard getting Keeper Souls up since we don't have any direct way into him. But we can use the Astral Spirit for that purpose. And we don't have a Spirit Fox or anything, so we'll still get to keep our yellow. That we will be needing. So there we go. Got our mana all the way up. Anything to deny, that gives us good value. No, not really. Though I am going to take full mana here just so we have a refire. So we'll take this down. He will get another poke on us. Oh, he took away my chance of taking a Valkyrie. I'm going to take green away right here so we can go get some browns. I was hoping that would be full mana for him. He surged on neither of them though. Now I'm going to need to get a Valkyrie on something that isn't brown or purple if I could help it. Though if I do it on brown, let's hopefully we can at least get a purple out of it. Make it worth it. Come on, Astral Spirit. I know you can land this. There has to be somewhere we can gain purple from cascading something. I do not see it though. Yellow. No, yellow wouldn't work. Red. How is there nothing? Let's see. There has to be at least one option to drop. We can also try dropping for brown, but that doesn't even exist on the board right now. Also, thank you, Shandazer, for the subscribe. Much appreciated. You know what? I think I might just have to throw this onto purple. That's like the last color I'd want to do it on. I can, of course, wipe this one. I don't know. Do we just do that at this point? I think I do. You know what? I'm just going to swipe it. We'll let him take the skull poke. And now we should hopefully be able to get this down. Blue is not the color I want to aim this on, though, but I think we can clear enough of the board off that's going to be fine. So we'll do that. I actually got Valkyrie all the way back up, and we do get the recast, which I don't currently need, so we'll take the skull over for now, take a little bit of poke. And we're not technically doing 2 times damage because, of course, he has the mitigation right there to stop it. As soon as we get through him, though, we'll be able to really start tearing through. So we'll do that again. That'll get rid of the barriers on everything else, so we can just hit through them. We'll do this on, it looks like yellow here. We'll get that going. That gives us an Astral Spirit still. Haven't really had a place to use it. We'll go do this on green, I guess. Drop that down a bit. Nice extra turn out of nowhere. That gives us a keeper. We'll throw that for red. And now we just 2 times skull damage everything, and that is almost match already. Did we get any other cascades that we can do here that are useful? I think I just take the skull at this point. We'll do that. And is there a drop for this? I do not believe so. Oh, purple. Oh, no, it's in the way. Oh, green. No, green doesn't work either. Let's see. Wait, does blue actually work? No, it doesn't, because the double there. If that wasn't double, that actually would work. Okay, you know what? Let's just Valkyrie something to clear the board. All I have to do is poke him with 1 skull. And there we go. I don't know why I'm thinking over it so hard. And down it goes. But yeah, that's something along the lines of what you would use, I guess, to skull spam with him. I don't know, the team felt a little clunky, but it got the job done. I think the biggest issue is trying to figure out where you constantly need to cast Astral Spirit. Other than that, it seems to get everything it needs. And the banner works decently. Covers everything you need. The +1 for Valkyrie, and it gives you a huge amount of blues. Well, I guess it's adequate. I was never a excessively huge fan of doing skull spam Crimson Bat. The only thing that really made me get into it was when Death came into the game, because that allowed it to be just super easy to do. You basically, by default, had 2 times skull damage. I always found it annoying having to cast before you can skull spam. You love the Sunbird team. No problems, Didicus. Yeah, Sunbird, I don't know. I've been really enjoying Sunbird recently. It's not like he even got changed at all. It's just the Firebomb makes it so quick. It's amazing. I love it. Firebomb into everything. The only thing it's really bad against is Ketris and Infernus, which you don't see too often. Though they do come here and there. That over. Get everything rolling. Get our explosions already. And yeah, we're already good to go. And there's a lot of placements for Infernus in this team. You can budget that like crazy. You can just go with something like a Goblin Rocket as your cheapest option, or upgrade that slightly by going into a Taraxis if you want. Though then again, I did find Goblin Rocket to actually be better than the Taraxis. We originally went with Taraxis with it, but then we kind of slowly started upgrading into other different things and trying. And yeah, I would have to say that Goblin Rocket's better than it, though Infernus is better than a Goblin Rocket if you happen to have it available. Unless you're up against a Scion Corvette, or Scion, the only exception would be for, what's that team? Scion Famine is what I was trying to say. Scion Famine is pretty good at destroying it, so you might want to use a Goblin Rocket then. I probably should be doing that whenever I actually see one, just to make sure that we can counter it properly. Because if we don't get a big enough start, or if the Scion randomly pokes us with a skull, it falls apart pretty easily. Hello, Anthony! Welcome! If anyone else has any other questions, team builds you want me to do, anything of the such, feel free to leave them all in chat, and we will definitely get around to them. Oh, now we got to deal with the free spam. This can still function against it, kind of. Let me go bring a last slot. Oh, wait, do we still have True Blade set up? Ooh. Oh, I want to go try True Blade against this. Pretty sure this is a bad idea. But one interesting thing about True Blade with the Shadow Blade spam, one nice benefit that it has is it doesn't care if it's frozen, because you always lose your turn. So it makes really little difference if you are frozen or not. Okay, we got his mana up. That is like the last mana we would even need to bother with, though. He is not the one you want to focus on first, but that's just what happens. We'll take that. And can we get it rolling now? We could do it on yellow. I ideally don't want to do that, but it looks like we'll have to do brown. Okay, so let it begin. Do that on brown. We didn't get full mana. Oh, he got the Devour. It's over. Already over. GG. Well then, good job, Kraken. Well played. Well played. Instant Devour. Instant Devour. Destroyed. Let me go get the guard team against this real quick. We're on guard team. I have two different guard teams. Guard, at one point, was like the main team I used for absolutely everything. I do prefer a World Breaker, though there is one specific purpose that it serves very well still, and that is for countering out this specific team right over there. And let me take the skulls. I was almost about to let him take the skull. I forgot we have Mercy first slot. That would have been really bad if I did that. We'll go move that over. And that gives us Hellcat, and now we just run rampant. The biggest issue with this compared to a World Breaker is you automatically end your turn with Guard. The benefit to this, though, is you get to silence Daemon, so things like Famine and such you don't have to deal with. Really wish Scion was silenceable, but it's not. Let's go move that over. And throw this down. Get ourselves a Hellcat in there. And one more cast should be win. Generally, that is the case. And even if it's not, we can just take a couple more casts and just keep getting our stats up if we really want to. And because every time we cast, we get 4 armor in him, which is 2 additional damage to all enemies. And speaking of 2 additional damage to all enemies, if we would have done that one more time, he would be dead already. But down he goes. Or is this going to let the burn take him? Though we just randomly get a skull off the top. That works too, I guess. Yeah. That's one of the easier ways to take out that team. Actually, might as well try it again. Though that one actually doesn't use... You know what? Actually, we don't need it for that team. I don't think we need to. Let's hope not. We'll just probably throw a Sunbird at it, I guess. Go, Sunbird! Let's see. What was your other question, Daniel? Did you mention one? Because you said question. Let's see. Let's see. Was there another one? I didn't see it. You heard rumors that the next mythic weapon is a mana converter? Yes, that's not a rumor. The devs have literally said that. So, unless they're going to change it from what they said, that is the case. It's basically going to be like a Valkyrie, I think they said, or an Alchemist, where it basically has a convert. That weapon will be insanely powerful, regardless of what it does. So we'll see specifically what it does. I need water. Throat's like, nope. Randomly out of breath all of a sudden. Okay, anyways, where were we? Let's go and throw down the explosion. You did hear that they would be craftable mana converter weapons? Yes. I don't think there were going to be multiple, but I know for sure they were going to add at least one as the next mythic weapon. I don't know if that's coming next patch or not. I don't even have access to that far in the Soulforge, so even if I could, I wouldn't know. Maybe once the live version goes down. But I don't really want to sharing anything from it, unfortunately. So I can't say all the juicy details. Actually, there's not really much juicy details to even go over. And the few that might be in there, I can't even get access to yet. Because, I don't know why they keep giving us this brand new accounts for the beta version thingy. Wish they would just give, like, a default maxed out account with, like, literally everything so that we could actually test everything. Because, with the beta that they have, it just starts you off. It wipes it every single time they do a different, a new version of the beta test thingy, and because of that, you have to completely restart from scratch until they connect it to the live servers, which makes it so there's a lot of stuff that can't actually be tested. Also, did we seriously just die to this team? Well, luckily we haven't yet. It's almost. We're working on it. We're almost there. 21 HP. I cannot take... Oh, no. Did we just lose? No, we didn't lose yet. For a second, I thought we didn't have an option. Nice, nice. There we go. Lucky enough. And down he goes. Imagine if we gave him that. That would have been awful. How long did it take you to get the 1,000,000 souls to craft Dawnbringer? 0 seconds, because we already had it. The amount of time it'll take to get the souls for this thing, though, will be quite a while. Probably around 50 hours or so of straight soul farming, if we want to get that much. That or we could disenchant everything, but I will never click that button. The button right over here, the disenchant all. This will disenchant all mythic troop copies you have of their 4 copies or higher. That would be 187,045 troops will be disenchanted for 2.3 million souls received. No, we're never going to click that button. Anyways, there we go. Actually, how many troops is our total? I know there are some people with higher than us. We have one of, I believe, the top 10 highest total troops in the game, though. At 188,861 copies. We're almost at 200,000. Yeah, we have a lot of copies of junk troops. That would give us 2.3 million souls if we were actually to disenchant them. I'm never going to do that, though. I'd rather grind out all the souls and do it that way instead of the alternative. Hey, we'll never disenchant. Alright, let's go move that over. Do you know of any Purple Day Yasmin teams? Purple Day Yasmin. I don't think I've ever bothered using it on Purple Day. Though the first thing that comes to mind is definitely Green Seer. 100% you'd want to use a Green Seer with it. It goes pretty much without saying. Green Seer Yasmin is almost necessary in any team you do with it. So that's for sure. What else? I do not know off the top of my head. Maybe Scion first slot. Wait, does it use blue? I don't even remember its colors. I know it's brown, green, and I believe purple, if I'm not mistaken, is Yasmin's colors. So that would allow Scion first slot, and then you would just need a mana generator second of some kind. Actually, never mind. You can use your Green Seer as a mana generator. So I guess you would just need another damage source then. That's not Yasmin. I've ran out on Green Day quite a few times. I don't believe I've ever bothered with purple. Maybe we did it once on like the first week it came out. I believe it wasn't good enough that we wanted to keep it as our purple team. But yeah, let's see. What would be that team? We throw in Yasmin. Boom. We throw a Green Seer in there. Oh, does she not have immune to Devour? Forgot about that. So we do that. Then we put a backline tank. Not you, though. Then we get a Scion in there for mana drains, plus a +1 purple. And then we just need to put something in last. And to cover the last colors we need a red. So purple red with impervious or immune. I believe there's one that has that. Don't recall one though. I know there's Grim. I don't think that we'd really want to use Grim on this team though. Let's see. Things for oh, whoops. What am I doing? All colors. Things that we could use. Oh yeah, Karnex. That's such a weird spot to put him in though. Last slot. I'd rather use Grim at that point. But there we go. Scion, Green Seer, Yasmin, Grim. Grim could be replaced with Karnex. Could be replaced with Rock Troll actually. That wouldn't be too bad. Though you would barely ever get to utilize that. But it would go straight into Yasmin. And it does have immune to Devour. Sunbird! No. We don't need Red Storm. Wolf actually wouldn't be too bad. He doesn't have immune though, unfortunately. He does have Stealthy, but he does not have Anti-Devour. He has Anti-Death Mark. That doesn't really help us much. There's Wolf Garrick too, but that's... With him in the last slot, it's like the last place you would ever want to put him. Wisp also wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, there's several options. You could even get away with Dragon Soul if you truly wanted to. Yeah, I think Wolf might be the way to go, actually. Assuming you're not up against Kraken. And then just replace that out if you are up against Kraken. And the banner would then be +1 yellow, +1 something. Let's see, yellow and I guess purple. Oops, that's not yellow, purple. Where's yellow, purple? I forget what banner that's even from. There's Divinian Fields. There we go. And we'll just roll with that and see what happens. Yellow green would also not be too bad. So let me see. Where did we just go? Where'd it go? There it is. Suggest the team. And yeah. And then we just throw everything into the Yasmin then. So let's see how this pans out. Yellow green might actually be okay too to go with. I just wanted to go with the purple in case we end up getting it for the Scion. You get a quick Scion. And of course it leaks into everything else. And we already have the Storm going to give us a bunch of purples anyways. So it's not like we're ever going to have a lack of purple if you have fully traded Umbra. Very nice. Green Seer, where can you land? I'll just throw a Scion for now, I guess. See if we can get a Green Seer after. Surprisingly, no. We'll go for an extra turn since there's a higher chance there's a purple. Yeah, we still didn't get it. Good job. Well then, we don't have really anything we could do on this current board. We'll just take some blues, I guess. Actually, you know what? I should have taken the purple. That actually would have been a chance, or if it surged, it would have been full mana for us. And we don't have immune to Devour, which is kind of the whole point of what I kind of wanted to do earlier. Let's see. Does he Devour us? No. At least we got lucky. What's with all the lack of green right now? There is an excessive lack of green on this board. We're just going to move that down. Let's see here. Can we still not get it? Oh, no. We can get it off the blue. There we go. I don't mind if I deny out blue. We don't need Scion that bad in this instance. We'll go throw that down. Only when we need to drain him do we really need to bother with it. Or anything on the team, for that matter. It's just nice being able to get it in a rush whenever you do end up needing it. We'll take that. That'll get her to full mana and give us the purple. And then we'll throw another Yasmin down. Come on, we're not even frozen on it. We're still not even frozen on it. And there goes the Devour, which is why I kind of wanted to use immune to it in the first place. Oh well. Yeah, it looks like we're going to lose here. Just to sheer damage. And to Kraken. Good job, Kraken. And now we're just frozen on everything. So we basically just auto-lose at this point. Okay, good, he missed. We still have a chance. So it's not likely going to win. I think I remember why I didn't use Yasmin before. She falls apart really easily to Kraken Queen Mab. And a lot of people are running Kraken Queen Mab. I was going to let it kill me. There we go. Actually, might as well just retreat. Retreat! 2 HP. At 2 HP. Almost dead. Double victory. 2 HP and 2 wins. There we go. Oops, I didn't mean to use this again, but at least this is against the main counter that it has. So maybe we actually get to see what it does. But yeah, that team was, I think, the reason why I actually decided not to ever use Yasmin in Guild War. Pretty sure we got completely wrecked by it one day, and it was like, nope, never again. Pretty sure that's what happened. Well, we'll throw that down. Against everything else, it's not that bad, though. It's just when you're up against Kraken Freeze, it falls apart. Throw that down. What else we need to move? Move that one. Move the other one. That also gives us brown. Actually, I probably should have taken that one first. But then again, I guess it was fine to take the top one because we might have moved it in a way that we couldn't have gotten it as a follow-up. Yeah, I feel like Yasmin's a lot better on Green Day than Purple Day. I think you can get away with her on Green Day. Purple Day, not so much. Also, you definitely can't do it on Brown Day. There's almost nothing that synergizes with her on a Brown Day. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say that. There is one. There's Forest Troll. Forest Troll would actually end up working. Okay. Okay, we'll move that down. Oops, I meant to get full mana on Green Seer. Kind of blocked. I need to do it off of yellow. We'll just take some purples. Get both of them up. Or do it that way. That works too. Green Seer. Why do you not have alignment? Not even on anything. So we'll throw that down. Maybe he'll move it for us. There we go. Perfect. Exactly what we need. Throw down blues. Give us our mana. Put it down again. Good. And let's match. There we go. Let's see. Inferno. Wait. What was your question there? Needing help with the thing. Could you help with your yellow Guild War defense on Xbox One? Sure, I can definitely help. What specifically do you need help with? Inferno King, Elma Grim, Mismer. What's that last one? Oh, and Infernus on Purple Day. And yellow help. Well, that's pretty much already a yellow team that you're using. Let's see. Inferno King, Elma Grim. Not the Elma Grim, but the Inferno King and Furnace. So knowing that you have those two, I guess we could try building something out of the two of those. Let me go see. Inferno King and Furnace. Do you have Gorgolfa? You could just do a tanked Gorgolfa team. Gorgolfa. Wait, you said Yellow Day. So let's see. We go with the Gorgolfa. We'll get the Infernus on this. We can just go for, I guess, AoE Brown. Wouldn't be too bad. Get the Behemoth in the last slot, and then we just need a mana generator. Oh wait, this is Yellow Day. I don't know why I keep thinking you said, I have no clue why. I thought you said brown. Let's see. Let's see, what do we need for this? So you have the Infernus. You have the frontline tank now. I normally don't build this into not true damage. Let's see. Yellow Day, I most always form into mana drain spam. Let's see. What are we still missing? We're missing green, blue, and that is it. So a yellow, blue, and a yellow, green are the two we really need. So let's just focus down those two and see what we actually have for options. The yellow, green, apply, all. This right off the bat, I'm thinking either Famine or Garuda. I mean, Famine or Grapple Pot. I don't know if you have a Famine, though, or a Grapple Pot. Wordbreaker would also work, but that's a little bit too far out there. So I guess we'll go with the Grapple Pot then. And then we just need a last slot tank out of our yellow-blue. And I believe there is something off of yellow-blue that has Impervious there. Yellow-blue, yellow-blue, yellow-blue. Nightcornet actually wouldn't be too bad. As weird as that may seem. Silent One actually wouldn't be too bad either. It wouldn't speed the battle up, but it would be really safe for winning if you have it as an available capability. Yeah, we wouldn't have the additional mana generator. We could try to do an Elspeth and have her kill herself. The problem is if she does blue, that would be bad. So can't really do that. Devoted doesn't really help us much in this particular team. Or Yali's too expensive, though she does have immune to Devour if you actually did have her. But that would conflict with our our physical damage. Could do Amnesia just for the sake of having a summon. That's actually a team that I sometimes run a lot, is on my Yellow Day. One of my absolute favorites is Gorgolfa, Moloch, Amnesia, and Famine. Actually, sometimes I put the Famine in second slot, depending on what we're up against. But I don't know if you have all those components. But yeah, I don't know exactly what you want to build around or what you have. But something along this line, Gorgolfa, Queen, Grapple Pot, and Furnace with like one other +1, I think is perfectly fine. And Banner would most likely be brown-yellow, especially if you're not up against a Scion. Something along that line. Let's see. Use Web Spinner, Yasmin, Queen Aurora, and Array for your Green Day. That is interesting. We can go try that real quick. Oh, have a good time at lunch, Bridget. Yeah, I'm probably going to be ending a little bit earlier than normal too. We will still be coming back at the standard time later, though. But I was actually going to head out for lunch with someone later today at 2. So that gives us about 1 hour then for the rest of the stream. So I'll probably give out the second redeem code soon. Anyways, let me go and... what was I about to go do? Oh yeah, I was about to go do the team that Daniel actually just suggested. See what we can do with this, the Yasmin with Array. I don't think I've ever bothered using it with Array on a actual green day. Oops, that's not how you spell Array. Actually, I completely forget how you spell Array. There it is. Oh, it has that U in it. That always throws me off. I always think it's AR, which is why every way I try typing it is always wrong. Because I assume it's AR, but it's AUR. But just type that in. I'm pretty sure it's the only thing that even comes up. Oh, never mind, I lied. I guess tar and stuff like that. Like the centaurs all have the R in them, AUR. And that's basically all that came up as well. Yeah, it's centaur. Those are all the centaurs and stuff. Anyways, array. Or is it Orray? I don't even know. When have I ever started pronouncing things correctly? And what was the last one we needed in this? We need the Queen Aurora. Queen Aurora second slot. I have never seen that before. Oh, never mind. Third slot. Okay, I was going to say. Queen Aurora is generally never used in second. I guess there are teams that could make it work. I don't know. It's just a little bit clunky in second. Oops. Wait, did I just overwrite something? Yes. I overwrote the Yasmin. That it was supposed to be 1 slot up. And there we go. Okay, anyways. Let's go and see what we need for our banner. No, none was mentioned, so I'm almost leaning towards double green. What's the minus brown? Do either of the minus brown banners actually help us here? Actually, there's only one minus brown. It's +2 red, +1 yellow. Never mind. Oh yeah, what's the minus red? Wait, we're missing red and yellow. I mean, red and... oh no, never mind. We're not missing brown. We're missing red. Frozen banner, +2 blue, +1 purple. That doesn't help. +2 yellow, +1 green. That, however, does. So I am going to go for that. It gets us better, quicker Queen Aurora, so that we can get those quicker shields to protect us. Queen Aurora shall protect us. Alright, we'll move that over. What else we need to move around? Rid of that. See what else we can get here. Go move ourselves for some manas. And we'll just get the AoE there. Get it going. We got a poison going. Now we just need to throw this on green and we should be good to go. Ah, come on. Land already. There we go. And now we just infinitely loop until we win. Or not. There we go. Ah, the revive. And that is match. There we go. Sounds like a trucker? Big Carl? I know, that does sound like a trucker name, Big Carl. I have a date? No, I do not have a date. Let's see. Scion, Ragnargord, Famine, and Death for Blue Day Guild Wars. Wait. Why would you do Rag? Or are you referring to a different troop? Because you wouldn't need to put a Rag on a Blue Day. Because he's not blue. Where do we move? What do I even do to get this to full mana? A lot of the colors that are currently on the board we don't really need, so we'll just take a green, I guess. Not really the most optimal thing to get rid of, because of the obvious reason that we need it, but not much to really take. I guess we go for just a standard purple here. We don't use the red, but I guess we'll try for a web. We didn't get it, but at least we got the cascade that made it so he didn't get the extra turn. So at least came in our favor slightly. That gets her to full mana, and I think we can start rolling now. So we throw her down, and keep throwing her down. Okay, or not. But we get the barrier, we got the extra cast, and should be good. And that's match. And down it goes. Okay, into the next battle. If anyone else has any other teams you want me to do, or anything of the such, or have any questions, just let me know, and we will definitely go over it. What is his name? I'm not gonna say his name. Let's see. Where do we even move? Move that one over. One of your videos said that the color didn't, the color didn't as long, wait, what? Oh, one of your videos said that the color didn't as long as you had 24 different unique troops on defense. The color matters for invading. It doesn't matter for defending, is what I mentioned. But yeah, for defending, it doesn't matter what your color is. But for invading, it does. I didn't realize you mentioned as a defend team. My bad. I thought you were mentioning it as like an actual one that you would use for Guild Wars. But yeah, for your defense, it doesn't matter what they are. As long as they are unique. It doesn't matter if they're related to the color of the day. Only when you're invading does it matter that your team is the color of the day. Okay, we'll throw down the web spinner. Get the Yasmin. And just another web spinner. And we're good to go. We try to find a video link to get back to you with what? The color of troops. Wait, but yeah, it's the way that the whole thing with Guild Wars works is all your defense, you get 2,000 points for every single one that is purely unique. You end up getting those extra points. And those can be of any color, it doesn't matter. But for Guild War invading, it basically switches, where you can use as many of the same troop as you want. You can literally run like 4 times KrissTigger if you wanted to for Green Day, but it has to be the same exact color troop. That's the way that it works. Like you can see with Guild War Red, we have pure red. These are all of our invade teams here. For blue, it's pure blue, so on and so forth. But for your defense, they can be anything, like Guild War, oh, sorry, that's another Guild War one. But for defense, they can be anything. So like our Guild War defend for blue doesn't use pure blue because it doesn't have to, but they do use completely unique troops. We can't do something like a 4 times KrissTigger for the green or something. That can be done for invading, but it can't be done for defending. Yeah, that's basically the main difference between them. Oh, since we had this one selected, I might as well go use this. I haven't used the standard Great Maul team for a while. It doesn't appear to win that well in Guild Wars, but it sure wins pretty good as a player, that is for sure. Kill Draculus immediately. Wow, we got a really bad cascade there. Ideally, that would have been full mana Inferno King right there. But we'll go move that over and see what we can do from here. I miss using this team. At one point, it was the best team in the entire game. It's still pretty far up there. As far as skull spam is concerned, it's probably still one of the best skull spams in the game, just because of how potent it is. Oh, there we go. Not like it's a bad team. It came and went. Got to be really careful with entangles, but you do get the Mercy. You get basically 1 cast, occasionally 2. That you can try getting the entangle off of with the team. You also have to be careful because a lot of things do run with like a last line Pervious now too, like that. Case in point. So you can't actually devour them. Okay, board. Why you be so mean to us? We'll just move that over. See what else we can do. Can we get a nice Mercy in here? Take the brown. We'll just take the brown. Try getting a nice Mercy. Nope, he ruins it. You ruined it! What do we do? What do we do? Let's take a skull. I'm taking the Mercy for almost no mana, but I need the mana. And let me move that over just so we have a guaranteed Inferno King in case it does miss. Take away his Summoner. There we go, nice, it didn't miss. Throw that down, that gives us Shegra. Ideally he'd be dead, and yes we can. Even as Entangle, and it didn't even matter. Do we have another Inferno King? Ideally we'd want to cast that first, but we'll do that I guess. We can't. And that's match. Yeah, that's pretty much this team in a nutshell. I wish the AI would use that just as well. Apparently they don't even do anything like that. Pretty sure the AI just gives them a bunch of skulls and it's like, here, have it. They'll cast an Inferno King just giving it like 30 red mana and 30 skulls or something. Yeah, that's basically this team in a nutshell. It can win really quickly if it gets lucky. The problem is when it doesn't get lucky and it can... The biggest issue with this team, it might look like it's doing really good right now, but the biggest issue it normally runs into is, well, other than giving the enemy a bunch of stuff, is sometimes you end up getting to a board where you can't do anything whatsoever on the board. You basically lock yourself out because this entire team literally everything on this team, other than the Great Maul, which you can only cast once, is a converting troop. So if you don't have alignment on the board... Oh, come on, he went for the Spirit Fox. I mean, the Moloch. So if you don't have alignment on the board, you end up losing a lot of turns to trying to get that alignment. And it can be a little annoying because you will waste like half the battle sometimes just trying to get the board in this shape that you need it to actually be able to cast. This battle isn't doing that as much, but we are at the point where we're struggling to get any mana because he keeps draining us every few seconds. Okay, that was weird. Why did he drain that one? Luckily, the Great Maul alone can pretty much just win off of skulls if we really had to. Mercy, we have it, and we do have alignment. But stuff like that, sometimes you won't have that alignment. And then for Inferno King, sometimes you don't have nice alignment like that. We're actually getting really lucky on these battles, though. Every single time we need to cast something, we've been getting it. But sometimes you have to wait like 5 turns, if not longer, to be able to get those really nice moves. You just fought someone called, what? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Let's see. What can you do with 4 Jot? Inferno King, Abbey Plague. I don't know what the first one is. Jotnars? Is that a Jotnar? I don't think you would ever use 4 Jotnars. I don't believe his barrier procs in a way that if you get 1, you would barrier all of them. Though I wouldn't know, because I believe I only have 1 Jotnar. So I actually wouldn't know how the interaction works with that. But I don't know. I don't know if that actually works properly. If it'll actually give it to each individual person on your team when you get 1 extra turn or not. I don't have him, so I can't actually test to see if it does work or not. Well, I have him, but I don't have 4 copies of him. I think we only have 1. That would be pretty interesting. I keep saying Jotnar's horrible. Who knows? Maybe 4 Jotnars is the meta right now. We don't even know it. Because almost no one has them. No, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. But that actually is interesting. Now I'm curious. Does anyone have 4 Jotnar to confirm that? Will a single Jotnar barrier your entire team if you get 1 extra turn? If you have 4 of them? Well, here's a problem where we don't have alignment now. So we basically have to throw Shegra. Oh, wow. That was also no alignment. He has a small gem spawn on him, but because it's only a small one, sometimes that happens. Again, no alignment. Rip. I think I'm still going to go for it, though, because why not? But yeah, then this happens. Well then. That is why you wait for alignment. That is also the struggle that this team has. Because it's really dependent on getting them. And it works amazingly when you do get them, but it can fall apart like crazy if you don't. Hello, Derek. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hey, let me go give out the other redeem code. Actually, I'll probably wait till 1. Never mind. We'll give the other one out in like 15 minutes. Yeah, there's some really weird names in Gems of War as far as what some people end up naming themselves. What was also pretty fun was whenever I go look at my lower guild or my lower other accounts that I normally have, it's fun to look at what people name their guilds. There are some really weird, odd, and interesting names for guilds that most people will never see because they're all the way at like really low values that almost no one's really at. It's kind of funny looking at them. It's really hard to do though because you would have to go and specifically go into another low guild to try to keep hunting them down. Okay, we'll just throw to Mercy. Get that one over. Do we have alignment? Yes, we do. We won. We get alignment, that's pretty much instant win. There we go. Actually, it's literally instant win, apparently. Oh, I love it. Gotta bring back all the oldies. I should, you know, eventually, maybe for the New Year's, though I will actually be away during the New Year's. So I would have to do it soon after the New Year's or soon before the New Year's. But I almost feel like making the top 10 best teams that have ever existed in Gems of War. Well, then again, I kind of already did that in the video. Never mind. I kind of did that last year. Never mind. I did a video on like teams that used to be good that weren't anymore. Yeah, it'd be kind of redundant doing a best teams video of stuff that used to be good because that's, I don't know. Like stuff like this. It's not one I normally show as one of the better teams, but it has been ridiculously solid for the 2 years that it has existed within the game. What do we throw? The main issue of why I don't normally use it is it has alignment issues. Whenever you don't have alignment, it's you waste so many turns that it's while it can get some pretty quick wins, its overall speed actually isn't quicker than many other teams that exist. It just looks like it is whenever it's actually going quickly, but it doesn't sustain that for hours on end. It can do it for a couple battles in a row, but it doesn't normally do it for much further than that unless you get really lucky. Let's move that over. Throw down a Mercy. Oh, like that. We wouldn't have been able to get that Mercy if we didn't get that really nice luck there. And then we just poke it. Do the top 10 worst teams? That would be a hard video, since I could do the top 10 worst troops or something. I don't know. A lot of people didn't really care for the video last time I did that. It's not like it was controversial worst troops. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, the one that showed the best ones got a lot more interest than the one that showed the worst ones. What we'll go move that one over. Because it doesn't really help to know what's bad. It helps to know what's good. The only thing that would help with knowing what's bad is to know what not to trait. You know what? I've never actually done a video like that. That could possibly work. Troops not to ever trait. Though there's really one really easy answer to that. Never trait any epic ever. There you go. That's everything you need to not trait. That's as simple as you can really explain it. Maybe not like never any epic, but 95% of every epic in this game is not worth trading. Mercy is one of the very, very, very few epics that's actually worth it. And the only reason because of that is because it has an empowered convert. If it wasn't for that, she wouldn't be used. Yeah, she's essentially the only, almost. Like, if I go to every epic right now, if we go search based on the thingy, I'd be lucky if I can find 5 epics that are worth trading in the entire game. The reason why epics are not worth trading is they are exponentially more expensive. They are 4 times more expensive, almost, than a ultra rare to trait. Yet, even though they have this higher expense, they do not have better unique traits like what a Legend and Mythic has. They have 0 unique traits. So it's really odd. But anyways, if we go and search by rarity right here, or base rarity, I mean, and go down to epic wherever they first start up. Let me see. Don't want to scroll too quick in case we go by them. Oh, there we go. We got up to epics. So let's go through every epic and say if they are worth or not worth trading. So that starts with Azura. Not worth. Worth, though you only need its first trait. Worth, mainly because you get Stone Skin immune to Devour. Not worth it, not worth it, not worth it. Second trait, so not fully traded, not worth it. No. Possibly for its final trait. No. Definitely. Basically the only mercy, or the only epic worth it. No. No. Actually, maybe for the first trait, as far as you would go. No, up to second trait. No. Fully traded if and only if you're using it for soul farming for a pure purple team. No. Actually, no, she's not worth it. She has empowered, but her ability never gets used ever. No, possibly. No. Though if you're using them in first slot, though there's almost no team you would ever use them in first slot in. Elspeth, definitely yes, because of empowered. You can kind of see the theme. Almost all of them are because of empowered, the ones that are. No. Great nose again. Great nose again. Tall, why are you so useless? Actually, maybe agile for him, which is his last trait, unfortunately. Straight nose. Maybe Traxxas for second trait, though, if you're actually going to use it. Straight nose. Except maybe this, if you're going for anti-goblin. And that's all of them. There we go. So what was that? 5? I think it was 5-ish. Somewhere around there. But you can see there's almost no epics worth trading. So, rule of thumb, never trade any epic. Easiest way to kind of know how to never waste your resources, just never trade any epic in the entire game. That's the easiest way you can conserve on your resources. And that's referring to base rarity, by the way. Of course, it doesn't matter if you upgrade something. Like, let's say you upgrade a common to epic. It doesn't actually increase the cost of anything. It's based on their base rarity, the cost for all of their upgrades. Oh, I'll get the Devour there. Actually, I could have kept the Scion alive. I don't know why I always kill Scion when I'm using this team. It's not as big of a deal compared to other teams because we have basically no mana capability on our first slot. It's one of the few weird teams where you can actually just constantly let a Scion hit you and it doesn't matter. Because not only do you have enough durability that it wouldn't matter, you also have... it's impossible for you to gain mana. There's no possible way to feed it mana. So you don't have to ever worry about it being drained of mana. We have alignment, so I'm going to go throw that one first. Actually, we could have just Shegra'd it. Why did I even bother with that? Go, Shegra, overkill it for like 200 or 300 damage. There we go. How about the top 10 troops that would be amazing or even viable with one minor tweak? That would be almost every troop in the game if you could do one minor tweak, though. That would be almost everything. Alkalite would be slightly skill up his brown spawn based on his magic, like he used to be. Aberrath would be give a HP heal. Amnesia would be give it something to use magic for other than just its summon. Alistair would be... I don't even know what Alistair's problem is these days. I would probably say... I don't know, give him a better way to get an extra turn. Alchemist is already great, Amir is already great, Ancient Golem is already great. Ancient Horror, change all of his traits so that they are triggered automatically. This Curse trait and Stone Spirit are useless when he gets summoned from a demonic pack. So changing those to almost anything would make them viable. Northern one's already good. Anthea, this needs to actually create 15 yellow-green. This text is really excessively misleading. It doesn't actually create 15 yellow-green. It creates a mixture of 15 yellow and green. So it's creating 15 gems, not 30. The text there is super misleading the way that they have it typed out. But giving her any secondary effect would make it good. Anabite Warrior, give him something to use magic for other than the Fortress Great. Apothecary is already amazing. Archdruid, I'm not going to go through every single trip. I don't know why I'm even doing it this far. Make it just slightly magic higher. The amount of extra magic he gives to an elemental. Anyways, I'm not going to go through literally everything right now. But I don't know. You could say that about literally every troop in the game. Almost. Unless they're already viable. Every non-viable troop, there's at least something you could tweak on it to make them viable. Well, we're going to move that. Code is expired. Yeah, we'll have another one going in, actually, right after this battle. We'll have another one. That'll be the last one for today, though we will have more on Monday when we do our nightly stream then. Wait, it is Saturday, right? Why does it not feel like Saturday? It is indeed Saturday. Does not feel like it, though. I think it's Thanksgiving kind of made everything feel like it moves by quicker. Between that and Black Friday and everything. Let's see. Did we throw Mercy here? Yeah, we're gonna go for it. Throw that down. Okay, let's go get herself the caster. Get that rolling. Get that down. Get a Shegra. And let's match. One little poke will do it. And down it goes. Yep, let me go give out the other redeem code. Let's see. What was the thing that Derek mentioned? What was that one question? There's a question that you referenced, but I didn't see what the actual question was. Will you try your Explode team? Gorgotha, Ragnagor, Dragon Soul, what, WB, Worldbreaker? Sure, I can go try that. I don't see why not. We'll go do that right after this battle. Or, I mean, right after we give out the code. How about... I might already answered that one. Let's see. Aren't there kingdom bonuses for every trait you add? What do you mean by that? Yes. The more traits you have on troops, the better. But epics are a really weird in-between area where they are so expensive that you would almost save them for last. Because there's two issues with them. Most of them are not worth using, and most of their traits are too expensive relative to what you get. For the most part, I would only do the first trait on most epics and save them for last. I would almost trade every single legend, mythic, common, rare, ultra rare, fully traded before I would bother getting most epics fully traded. Because the only purpose that most fully traded epics serve is for kingdom power level, and that is it. They serve no actual purpose in battle. 95% of them are useless, or at least the benefit that they gain from their traits are useless. Yeah, doesn't really work out that well. Anyways, let me go give out a code. The final code for today. Let's see, let's just go down the line into whatever the next one is. Oh, what is that? I am a banana. I'm pretty sure that is what that code is supposed to be. Though it's spelled really weirdly because it's only 10 characters long. What on earth? That makes some of the weirdest codes I've ever seen out of 10 characters long. It's like a 10 character long Twitter. Let's see. Anyways, or tweet, I mean. Why did I just call it a tweet of Twitter? You can tell I don't use Twitter that much. Actually, I don't ever use Twitter. Let's see, we'll go copy that. Unless I'm specifically trying to contact someone who literally only uses Twitter. That is the only time I ever use Twitter. Anyways, let me go and go put this into the chat as well as below me. Let me see. Redeem code. Boom, boom. Get that in there right there. And there is the code. Let me go get rid of the end tail of it and center it. That is an I, by the way. It doesn't really look much like an I, but that is indeed an I, not a 1. And let me go post it in chat so you can just copy paste it. And that will definitely get it to you correctly. And there it is. I believe that is I am a banana, apparently. Or bananan? A bananan. I don't know why there's an N at the end of that. Bananan. Bananan? Nananan. I don't even know. I'm a bananan. Anyways, there's the code. Let me go use it myself. We'll check that's working. Should probably do that before I actually post them. At this point, I just do it after. But you use gemsofwar.com underneath game code, or just use the link that we just posted. You can claim if you're on PC and mobile with Gems of War. Say that you're not a robot. Put in your invite code that's found underneath your settings menu, whatever yours says. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for subscribe, whoever just subscribed. Much appreciated. And that gives the normal reward of... Come on, click. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. We almost have 3,000 maps now, I think, after this stream. Because we were doing some map farming earlier because someone was asking about it. Almost. We're 12 short. I'm not going to bother farming those 12. It doesn't matter if we get to 3,000. But, yeah, there we go. Anyways, that gives the normal... Oh, never mind. We already claimed it. Let me go claim the key, and then go to team that was suggested. Why, Merchant Prince? That was one of the useless ones. Why? He's completely dead content. Anyways, let me go use the exploding team that I believe that Vangor ended up mentioning. Yeah, there it is. Gorgolfa, Ragnagord, Dragon Soul, and World Breaker. So let's go try that. Gorgolfa, Rag. Wait, is everything on that team explode? Rag. Yeah, it is. Why do I have cap lock on? Ragnagord. What else we need in there? Dragon Soul. Oh yeah, I forgot. The D doesn't work anymore. Soul. It won't work either. Let's see. End Soul would work. There we go. The workarounds. So now if I want a Dragon Soul, I gotta say End Soul every single time. Oh, thank you so much, Derek.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Much appreciated for the $10 donation. And yes, we shall. Let's see. And we need the World Breaker. World Breaker. Yeah, that's a really easy way to just look for any troop. Because, for example, if we want to find, like, let's say, Abref, if we type in ABH, okay, never mind, that one's not a good example. But if we type in Sacrificial Priest Hey, let's say we wanted to try finding sacrificial priest and we type, okay, that's not a good example either. Oh, come on. Well, basically what I'm trying to say is some things that you try typing in, like the beginning of their name. How about the? There'll be a lot of options. So if you find something else that the troop can do, like war, for example. Actually, war is a good example. If you try typing in war, you find this gigantic page of things. But if you figure out something else that's within its thing, you can just find it really easily. So normally I do endless conflicts whenever I'm trying to find a war, because he's the only thing with that in his name. But if you do war, you have to scroll literally all the way down to the bottom of this page, because so many things has the word war within it. So yeah, that's the workaround for when they start doing too many of a certain kind. But yeah, we can't type in the D anymore to get the Dragon Soul. That used to be the easiest one because that's just typing in his name. But so many things has that so many troops have the combination of that in it, because anything that has in their description the word the followed by any word starting with D will end up coming up as well. Anyways, we need a -blue banner, or is there even one that does that? I don't believe there is. There's the exact banner we're on right now, which serves us no purpose. I believe we just go for a brown-red. We definitely need to make sure whatever we do has +1 red, so yeah, let's just go with that. Not going to bother with the +2 purple, +1 red, -1 yellow, just because we have 2 things that use yellow, so that's not really going to get us anywheres. How do you put the code in mobile? I don't know, wouldn't it be the exact same? I think it's the exact same. You just go to the website, gemsofwar.com, underneath game code, or just click the link. I'm not quite sure if you click the link on mobile or not, but you just type in gemsofwar.com and go to Gems of War, go to the game code section and the little tabby thing, and then just fill out the fields, and it should claim just like it normally would on a PC. But yeah, if anyone else has any other questions or questions I might have missed, or team builds you want me to do, or team builds that I might have missed, feel free to leave them in chat, and we'll definitely make sure to go over all of them. Well, let's get a Dragon Soul down. And then just go get a nice explosion. That rolling. Get another one followed up. Oh, nice. Very nice. Get that. Feels weird using 4 troops to have the capability to explode. The explode meta is back. I really wish it would go away, though. Explode meta is a little bit annoying because it takes away the strategy from actually doing anything on the board. All you do is just keep exploding over and over again. It's nice because they're really strong, but I don't know, it takes away some of the fun. I don't mind partial exploding teams because they it's an easy way to get your mana up and everything. But I don't know, 4 times explode while very, very, very strong. I don't know, it just feels kind of cheap to me. You're kind of bypassing a lot of stuff since you can just keep casting every single time. It's almost impossible not to have full mana. The only thing that's really going to stop it, of course, is a mass mana drain. But if you're not up against anything that has the capability to do that, like if you're not up against Famine, Scion, anything like that, Corvash, you just keep going forever. You're never not going to have something to cast once you get going, unless you get mana drained, of course. And there we go. You never even really need to touch the board ever. They ended up making some changes a while back to kind of make it so you would have to touch the board. Though this team and similar ones to it kind of defy that. Where you basically don't need to touch it at all and still kind of win. Well, actually, that's not true. Because the way that you used to be able to do before, you literally didn't need to touch it. Technically, exploding is touching the board. It's just you don't really care what the board is when you're using a mass explosion team. It could be almost anything and it would still be perfectly fine. So in this case, now they has a mana drain that is slightly less relevant because it actually doesn't matter slightly what the board is because we need to make sure we stay safe away from his Corvash. We'll throw a blue just for a wide spread. Kills almost the entire board. Speaking of that, oh, he went for a skull. I have no clue why. That's good for us because now we can just go explode this. You know what? I should have ragged there. I don't know why I did that. But luckily we got all of our mana back, so it doesn't matter. That gives us the World Breaker, hopefully. Or not. I need 1 green if I can. There's our 1 green, so I'll take that. That gives us a full. And again, he's about to do his thing, so I'm going to use one of our front line because he's going to drain it and that'll kill him out. Do that, and now we can just stick with the back. And should be good. Here we'll get a mana drain or mana burn on us. We'll hit for a high number, but not that big a deal. And that should be matched. Another World Breaker and another Dragon Soul Undead. Oh, come on. There we go. And that's matched. Is it better to use gems to buy gem or event keys? Gem keys. Almost always gem keys. Or use them to buy diamonds in dungeons. For diamonds, it depends how much you have. If you have over 4,000 gems, or why did I say 4,000? If you have over 1,000, oh, I guess 4,000. I don't know. It really depends what you would consider a threshold. Maybe 5,000? I don't even know. But if you feel like you have enough gems, you'd pretty much want to throw your gems on diamonds every single time, if you can. Though, if you are budgeting your gems, let's say you have under 1,000 or a pretty small amount, or you want to save them mainly for keys and such, you would only throw for this diamond pack on Sundays. On Sundays, it is more valuable than any other day. So that's like the one day of the week that you would throw it down. And that would only cost you 50 gems a week, which is quite manageable for any account for the most part. Unless you're like just started out. I'm pretty sure beyond that little point. But yeah, basically just Sunday. Personally, I do it literally every single day. But if you're low on gems or need them for more troops and such like that, I would leave it at just doing it on Sunday. As far as anything else, I would say basically just all into gem keys. I do it on event keys occasionally. This is mainly if I really want to get a nice shiny troop. For the most part, though, you get a lot less. Get a lot more value out of gem keys. Event keys are 50% more expensive than gem keys, yet they drop the exact same rarity. The only reason why event keys are somewhat desirable is because they drop from specific kingdoms. So if there is a specific troop within that kingdom that week that's actually really good, then that basically encourages people to use event keys. And I have done it on some of my newer accounts just because I want to get like one specific troop and such. But in the long term, you get a lot more value out of doing gem keys because they're 50% cheaper and you're getting, well, 50% more. They're the exact same rarities. You're just getting different troops. But as far as the actual rarity drops, you're getting the same amount. So if you were to always just spend on gem keys, that is technically the best way to do it. Though, of course, it's always, there's that slight want or need, or mainly just the want, whenever there's something really juicy in the event key drop pool to use event keys. But really, the most optimal way is never to ever buy a single event key and just always do gem keys. It just, sometimes you can't really help yourself because there might be something really amazing. Like if it was a Dragon Claw week and you didn't have a Dragon Soul, that would be a great example of when you might want to do event keys. But for the most part, if you can resist, you basically just want to always do it into 50 bulks of gem keys, or VIP keys if you have as well, if you have access to those. But yeah, event keys are a little bit of a waste. They will be reworking them in the future to only drop from the specific kingdom, which they currently kind of do, but only the really high rarity specifically only drop from the kingdom. The ultra rares can be from any kingdom, though they're majority from the current kingdom from the event, and epics are also the same way. They can drop from any kingdom, but they're majority from the current event. But eventually they will be making it so literally 100% of the drop pool is only from the event kingdom, and it will drop all rarities, including commons and rares. And at that point, they may reduce their price or do something to rework the whole system with it. They haven't really mentioned what that will be, and I don't believe next patch is bringing that either. Hopefully sometime in the near future they will, though, because there are starting to become so many kingdoms now that it can be a little bit difficult to try to max them out. I know you have to spend like 20,000-30,000 gold keys just to max every single new kingdom every single time they come out, which is why you always see me saving all my gold keys and not using them, because there's a ridiculously high amount of them needed to be able to max out every new kingdom whenever they end up getting reintroduced to the game. We'll throw that down. Get another world breaker. We can actually lose this. Gotta be careful. Oh! Ow. Well, that would have been devastating if that was Guild Wars, but it doesn't matter as much because it's just PvP right now. I like how inconsequential PvP is these days. It's like, oh, we lost. Yeah, okay. Doesn't really matter as much these days. Yeah, the team score, or the amount you needed last week was like 38,000 to get on the leaderboard. I think it's going to be a bit lower this week, because the only reason it was so high last week was because of all the MOAs. Everyone was running like pure MOA, so it was ridiculously easy to actually win. But now that all the mowers are gone, I think it's going to go back down to like 30,000 or something. Let's see. Yeah, Sunday's awesome for it, that is for sure. You do it every day because it gives you the mythic you want. Yeah, that's the exact reason why I do it. Because there's, I basically have everything in the game. So the only things I need are things that can focus down specific things that I don't have, like getting some of my legends to mythic and stuff like that. But since we have every single card, which is currently a total of 416. Wow, next year we're going to be hitting over 500 troops. They need to do just a complete balance overhaul. I wouldn't mind if they had one major patch where literally the only change they made was rebalance every troop in the entire game. Like, once they hit 500 troops, they do a patch where they rebalance all 500 troops and every weapon. That would actually be a really big project to do, but that would be amazing if they did that. Because the more they add to the game, the wider the imbalance possibilities become. And it's something they will need to address eventually. Because once we start getting like 500 plus, there's just going to be so many options that it's going to be so hard to balance. And something will need to be done about it. Because there's going to be way too many overpowered combinations, like there already are. But it's just going to get even worse once another 90 get introduced to the game. And that's not even counting the mythic weapons they might add in that time, the 1 to 3 new mythic weapons within that time frame. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually somewhat viable crafting legends in the Soulforge. You would mainly want to do it for mythics, but there's 2 times you would craft a legend in it. One would be if you don't have any copies of it and you need a copy, like a Dragon Soul or something really vital like that. The other time that you would end up crafting within the Soulforge would be a legend in the Soulforge would be, of course, to get it to mythic. Personally, I don't feel like getting 5 copies of it is worth it, but if you're only like 2 copies short of getting something to mythic, those instances are pretty nice. Also, if you accidentally like ascended one that you need 2 copies of, let's say for example KrissTigger, you need 2 KrissTiggers for a team, but you accidentally upgraded it and now you only have 1 copy for KrissTigger. That's another instance where the Soulforge actually comes really in handy. KrissTigger hasn't actually been craftable that often though. It's one of the better things that you can craft out of the Soulforge. That's a legend quality. You started playing PvP in the game on Adana Mech Week. Sob was really depressing. Oh, yeah. Wait, did you start all the way back when they had 50% on that week? That means you probably got one-shotted every single battle, if that was the case, yeah. There was a really weird meta the first few weeks that Bombot came out, where the best team in the entire game was basically just double Bombot suicide teams. It was really strange, though, really fun. It was probably one of my favorite teams of all time in this game. Unfortunately, it doesn't work anywhere near as good now as what it used to, because there's a lot more durability now than then. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Another thing that kind of killed it was when bonuses were introduced to the game, because there was 2 different events that had it. There was the one mech event when they first came out, and then there was the other mech event when they had 50%. But the first mech event when they came out, they were viable. Actually, both of the events, they were kind of viable. But for the longest of the time, they became inviable, and still kind of are, due to the extra small bonuses that every troop can get just from the like 10 and 20%. There used to be 25% and 50%. But the other issue that comes is there's just more durability in the game. As they add kingdoms, there's a lot more... basically, even if they evenly added 1 of every troop type of kingdom, it will naturally make magic weaker. The reason for this, and skulls in general as well, but the reason for this is, let's say they add 1 magic, 1 attack, 1 HP, and 1 armor kingdom. That seems even, but it's actually not, because you're adding twice as much durability as you're adding cast offense or skull offense. So even though you still have the same amount of balance between the amount of skull damage and the amount of durability and the amount of cast damage, you're technically having less damage, because if you're doing an ability damage, or if you have a team that's based solely on ability damage, troops are gaining twice as much durability than they're gaining actual damage output. And because you don't always use the attack value, or in some teams you don't always use the magic value, it kind of weakens and makes battles perpetually take longer and longer and longer. And that will keep occurring throughout this game unless they do something else to kind of rebalance that slightly in the future. Wow, how are we almost losing this? But yeah, because if they keep doing that, most teams only orient themselves towards 1 damage type. That, or maybe we'll just need to start using both damage types. Very few teams use both skulls and like actual skull pokes and magic, though. Generally, it's one or the other for the most part. Let's see, what do we have here? But yeah, if anyone else has any other questions, team builds you want me to go over, anything of the such, feel free to leave them in chat. Let's see. Let's say I already answered that. But yeah, just let me know, and we'll definitely make sure to go over everything. Though I do have to say, I am actually starting to enjoy this one. One nice thing I was just saying about the thing earlier, but one thing that's kind of nice about it, this would be a good team to use if I was doing like 3 things at once, like I sometimes try doing, because you can easily play the this without really looking at it. Teams like this are also particularly good for looking at chat and reading it. So I'm probably still missing chat because it doesn't have anything that you need to target other than Ragnagord, but that's barely a target. So you don't really need to pay as much attention to the board itself. You just need to look at what their team is and just see if you have mana on anything. So it works out pretty nice for that. So it's kind of chill. We'll go take that. Go throw down the damage there. Get herself a Dragon Soul. Get that rolling. And get more damage, AoE. And just a Dragon Soul into whatever follow-up we get. Actually, probably should just swipe that mana and got his mana back up. Because he would have won already. And down it goes if he doesn't revive. Of course. Wait, did that just hit him twice? That totally just hit him twice. It hit him there and then it hit him over there. I've never actually seen that before. When an AoE double taps the same troop. Interesting. Okay, and then we'll just throw that down. Don't revive again, please. That will only happen if it moves slot, though. If it stays in the same slot, you'll never be able to double tap a troop. There's a couple of stats effects that work like that, too. Actually, the problem is that it's targeting the slot itself. So, what happens is we'll do a full AoE, and it moves from there to there, but there's still a damage instance there that didn't get used if it was empty. So it moved from there to there. It takes the damage there, but then it also takes the damage there. Same thing can happen with a stats effect. Stats effect applies to the slot itself. So, for example, if you place a burn on this thing, but also simultaneously kill it, and then it revives, it will place that burn on top of the troop that just revived into there. So you kill it. You kill it in first slot. It applies a stats effect, but then that stats effect just goes on to the revived troop because it's applying it to. It's targeting the specific slot. Basically, everything in this game will do it. If I'm not mistaken, that was one of the reasons why this weapon, the lying thing, it was really broken because of this mechanic in the game. I don't know if it still does it, but it pulls a troop to first place and then deals damage. But the problem is it moves the troop, then does the damage. And I don't know if that's still the case. But basically what it did was it would move the troop to first slot. So yeah, that's normal. That does it perfectly fine. But if nothing was shifted back into the slot that it was at, nothing would take damage. So let's say you do this on third slot. He's missing his first. You move that troop to first, and then it deals damage, but there's no troop currently in the third slot, so it does no damage, and no stun. So all it does is for 12 mana cost moves them to first slot. I don't know if they fixed that or not. Pretty sure that's still a bug. I don't think they fixed it because there's a lot of other mechanics in the game that's still running off the whole based on the slot. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't know if they'll ever really get around to that because there's a lot of weapons that are like super useless tier. That's one of the few weapons that are actually glitched though. Mostly weapons do exactly what they say to do. I think the other one that's slightly glitched is the Knight's Pure Blue Shield, if I'm not mistaken. Has a weird glitch where it sometimes doesn't apply to barriers correctly. I believe they did fix that one though. Well, throw that down. Because similarly to the whole position switching thing, the shield brings you to first slot, and the game gets slightly confused because you end up moving your shuffling your team around, and sometimes it wouldn't apply some of the barriers like it was supposed to. Because for whatever reason, it would basically it would shift your location at the same time it would apply the barrier. So 2 of your troops would basically not get your would not get the barrier on them, because the one hero that moves to that slot would be moving at the time, and the other troop that got shifted because of that would not get the barrier at the time. And if everything shifts, I believe none of it would actually get the barrier. It was really odd. Basically, any troop that was moving would not get the barrier. And of course, it's supposed to give everything the barrier. What do we do? We'll go take the brown. Take the other brown. Take the yellow. Take the Gorgoltha. Throw that down. And get ourselves Dragon Soul. Just a little bit of manas. yourself a red down over there. Nice little dragon. I'm not even going to bother with that skull. How little damage is going to do to him, I don't think it's going to matter. So we'll get our explosion, and now we can just go full AoE till we win. Another map. We're almost there. We're almost at 3,000 maps. Too bad we can't replace that for anything. I would totally replace that for 3,000 gems. You used to get gems from multiple cascades. Now they give you a map instead, which is kind of useless for a lot of players who have more maps than they ever know what to do with. Because technically gaining a map now is worse than gaining one gem. Because I have no use for my excess maps. But I would have a use for one gem. While it's not a lot, it's more than not one gem. But yeah, hopefully it'll do something with maps in the future. They need some kind of map sync. There's two things that currently have no use with their excess. It's maps and trait stones. There's a lot of trait stones that you need leading up to getting everything fully traded. But once you've essentially fully traded everything and start to build up a reserve, there's nothing to do with these. Yeah, that used to be the case with souls too, but it's still the case with maps and trait stones. They currently have nothing to sink them into in the game, so people just accumulate excessively large amounts of them. I don't even know if they ever will. They might add a map sync. I don't even know if they ever will add a trait stone sync though. I wish they would, but yeah, like what would they add? And if they do, how would they balance it? Because everyone who is basically maxed at this point would be able to exploit it like crazy with how many resources they have. They could do it kind of similar to Soulforge, where they could basically add a new resource to kind of keep it balanced so that late game players couldn't just throw everything into the economy. But because they would end up getting so much stuff if they ever did that. But I don't know, they would need to figure out something for it if they ever did do that. I would really want it though, because at this point it's almost pointless for me to get more trait stones. I like still doing it whenever I can, just out of the slight chance that they may eventually do something for it. But realistically, in the current state of the game, once you have fully traded everything and you get like 50 of every arcane at that point, you're pretty much good to go forever. Well, we're going with the reds over. Get yourself a rag. Oh, oops, never mind. I thought the rag was in first slot for whatever reason. That would have been annoying if it was, because it would have just got drained there. Take a skull poke, that'll kill it out, so no more drains off of you. Take the other blue, get that going. Take a blue to red, hopefully search for rag, and we do indeed get it. A lot of... Wow, what on earth just happened there? That was lucky. Throw that down. Extra runics, maybe we could trade them for gems. You have 100, I know. Oh, runic trait stones. Everyone has so many runic trait stones. It's it used to be even worse back when the tasks used to be basically all glory keys. You would get such an excess of glory keys that you would have more runics than you ever even know what to do with. And that's still the case in the game, because how it's balanced, not as many runics are used for stuff. So you really don't ever really need to use them ever. You use less runics than almost any other trait stone for whatever reason, even though it's the second most common one, which is really odd. They balanced it, when they initially added traits, they balanced it very weirdly, and they have never actually rebalanced the cost of traits. They've added new things that have different like trait costs associated with them, like for example the guardians and stuff like that, but they've never actually rebalanced the cost to trait things. And when they first released it, they for whatever reason made it so barely any runics were used relative to their actual rarity. So few of them. I think 1/3 of them are used compared to how many minors you use. 1/3, I think there's more runics used, if I'm not mistaken, than how many majors you even need to fully trade everything in the game. It's really, really odd. And that's after they tried repairing it some by adding things that just absurdly use more runics, like the Guild War troops, for example, that you get from doing Guild Wars. All of them, I don't know if you noticed, use a really excessive amount of runics for no apparent reason. Well, actually, there is apparent reason. It's to actually use runics. And that was kind of one of their way to kind of repair that slightly. And probably if they ever add any pure color troop again, or add more Guild War troops in the future, they will all have an absurd amount of... runic tree. I mean, not runic. Why do I keep saying runic? I mean arcane. I mean, not arcane. I mean, major. I meant to say major trait stone that entire time. It's the rare ones. Those little, actually I don't even know what they look like. They kind of look like minor trait stones, except slightly more brighter. Before I could say they're the one that looks like that little star thingy, but they end up changing the image for it, so that's not the case anymore. You're 900k short on souls for the mythic weapon? Yep, we are too. Well, counting the things, we're 860,000 souls short. By the time you get it, they will release another one. I don't know. How many souls are you gaining? I'm only gaining about, I'd say 50,000 a week. Maybe not even that much. It might be more like 20,000 a week, which I don't believe will be enough by the time they add it. It could be a next patch for all we know. And if it is, that's in, like, what, 2 weeks? If they end up getting that down in time, and they should. So yeah, that's right around the corner. It's probably going to be more like January, February, though, or maybe even March, until the next mythic weapon, I would assume. So we still have plenty of time, most likely. I highly doubt it's going to be a next patch. Next patch is mainly just UI changes, the final UI changes. Like, you can see, like, these pages and stuff are still the previous UI. They're going to be changing that, though. From what I've seen so far, looks okay. We're still giving suggestions to it because some things look really, really weird with it. Similar to how they made everything. But, yeah, hopefully they'll actually listen to us and change them. We'll have to see if they actually do so. But yeah. Because they have to rewrite all the assets. Just telling them to change a small asset with how they have it set up isn't always the easiest of things. Because they have to change it in every instance where it's used. So that can actually be quite a bit of work sometimes. Because I don't believe all of them always take the image from the same source. For whatever reason, the way... I know the previous file system, I don't know if they changed it since they moved over to Unity, they might have. But I know the previous file system used to take based on so many different files. Like, some of them would use the same image 5 times over because they would need it for different areas of the game to be able to read it. Yeah, I don't know if they've cleaned that up some or what they've done with it. I'm not too familiar with how most of that even works, or why they would need to have multiple of them instead of just using the same file to keep going from it. I know for troops they always would call them from the same file. Sometimes they would have a second file, but that would just be because they have a wider, more inclusive image of them. Normally those are for epic and legendary troops because they show up during cutscenes in the game. Yeah, maybe they'll tweak that some too whenever they do the questline expansion. They have mentioned many times that they are interested in eventually adding a way to basically replay questlines and to give more reason to kind of go through them, and maybe even add more lore back into the game and stuff of the such. So that'd be great because it's currently lacking it quite a bit. Compared to some of their older games, they actually have a lot more lore than what Gems of War does. Gems of War does add some lore to the game, like almost every single week, because they always have some kind of little description thing for the new troops. Also, how on earth is he still alive? What on earth is happening there? He does not want to go down. Go already. I think we just got ourselves into an endless loop of not ever being able to win. What is happening? Okay, we'll throw this down. It's not like he's doing less damage. Well, he is slightly, but 24 damage, that's still solid damage. If she dies, we win. Problem is, I need her to go down already. Oh, we could have skull poked her. No! She could have been dead already. There we go. Finally. Okay, now we win. Not like it was really in question. Though then again, actually it still is. If he gets enough skulls, he will win. It is still possible that we lose. Not likely, though. There we go. And now we just have to do that 2 more times. The Dragon Soul into his skull. And throw this down, get our manas back. And that's match regardless of what he does. Never mind. What on earth is his magic? 59. Okay, that's bad. We could actually seriously lose this. I need a Dragon Soul. 1 Dragon Soul is the win. I can't skull poke him, though. I have to find a purple somehow. Okay, there we go. Or a red now that got destroyed. Oh, wait, never mind. We can just take a skull because now he died, so we can just take our skull damage. There we go. That's one interesting thing about a Dragon Soul. He keeps all of his damage, even if he has 0 magic. Because his damage is based on a static number boosted by dragons on the team. It's not affected by magic in any way. Only his amount of explosions are. So if he goes down to 0 magic, he still does the same amount of damage. He just doesn't get the explosion value. So yeah, he's pretty good against magic reductions like that. It works out nicely. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out to lunch and such right about now. We will be back in about 2.5 hours, probably at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to go back to Puzzle Quest and continue our adventures there. We should be getting a pretty overpowered weapon in there now that we'll go craft from scratch. And hopefully that will just tear through and make the games go a bit quicker in there, because it feels so slow without having 4 times speed in that game. But once we get the really powerful weapon, that should speed it up by quite a substantial amount. But anyways, guys, we'll be back with Puzzle Quest in about, or starting that in about 2.5 hours from now, and we will be doing our standard Gems of War stream tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is in 6.5 hours from now. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will see you all later, and thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye, everyone.